Hello, good evening, and welcome to Madison, West Virginia for week number 10 of the high school football season in the Mountain State. We're here for another high school game day on the RSN Sports Network powered by HD Media. Adam Rogers, Will Vance, and a special guest with us here this evening. Joining us tonight, one of our sponsors, Rusty Webb from the Webb Law Center. We've got a fantastic game on hand for you tonight here in Madison between the number 15 Winfield Generals and the number 15 Scott Skyhawks. Both teams come into tonight 5-3 on the season, tied for 15th place. So a win for either side tonight would essentially lock up playoff spot for them, and a loss would potentially leave the other team on the outside looking in. So an interesting matchup here tonight, and the reason why we have our special guest, Rusty Webb, with us this evening is because he's a Scott alum. So yes. Welcome back home.
Yeah, it's great to be home. I bleed gold and black, and I've been here, gosh, it's been 10 years ago since I've been back to a game, and it just feels like it was yesterday. It feels like it was yesterday when I was in the marching band out there. So yeah, love being back. Thanks for having me. Thanks for RSN, Adam and Will. And you're right. This is a you know, in the 64 game basketball, there's that play-in game. This is that play-in game. So the winner goes, the loser goes home.
Yeah, and these two teams that both know it. You know, these two teams that have played a pretty similar competition, being in the same conference. Two teams that are pretty used to each other. Both teams kind of fresher looks in the past couple years. So both teams know what's on the line here. And you know, we talked to Scott's coach this morning or earlier today, and he basically said that they know the stakes here. That if they win, you're almost guaranteed a spot, and the loser has some luck, and some other teams do some favors for them to get into that 16th spot.
Well, Will, you mentioned a nice turnaround for both of these programs. 2-7 last year for the Scott Skyhawks, 0-6 for the Winfield Generals, a 10-game losing streak for Winfield earlier this year, spanning back to 2 seasons ago before COVID. So this has been an impressive turnaround for both of these teams, and for Scott, it's been a really great job by their new head coach, Jeremy Dolan. He's really invigorated this program and this high school again.
Yes, and Scott High School's had some great coaches over the years. What's happening now is by luck. They're not playing at Winfield. You know, this time last year or next year they'd be playing at Winfield. So you have to give the edge to the home team because, you know, you're playing on your home field in front of your home crowds.
And then for the Generals, Will Craig Snyder, 10th-year man there, has been through the ups and downs with this Generals program. Was in AAA for a number of years in the MSAC conference, one of the best in the state, and then transitioned back down to AA and has gotten Winfield to kind of find their footing again, and it's had a great season, and it's really started with their quarterback, Bryson Brown, a junior.
Bryson Brown really does everything for that team that, you know, like you said, had a really impressive turnaround this year, and, you know, veteran coaching is certainly a part of that. But Brown really able to do everything for him, run it, pass it, really just one of those quarterbacks that takes teams to playoffs, and let's see if they can, if he can do that for the Generals, or if it will be, you know, that great running attack of Scott.
So the Skyhawks and the Generals out at midfield now for the coin toss. Captains for the Skyhawks are Cooper Martin, as well as Isaac Doss, Cody Nance, and on the end there, Gavin Sutphin. For the Generals, that is Bray Boggs, as well as, I saw a number there for a second. I believe that is Cody Beam, excuse me. And that's Brock Basham, actually. Yeah, Lil Tuck, Carter Perry, and then that is Bryson Tate, the captains for the Generals.
A very still night out there, if you can tell from that pregame smoke just kind of hovering around.
The smoke from the end zone there where the Scott players ran out of the Skyhawk tunnel has carried that out onto the field now at the midfield. But Scott will get the opening kickoff to start tonight's ball game. Winfield will kick it away to start things off. Generals out in their white tops, green numbers outlined in black, with the green pants and the green helmet. Skyhawks in the all black with the S on the side of the helmet, Scott across the chest in gold, and the black pants. Again, it's a An important matchup for both of these teams tonight. 5-3 tied in the Class AA standings at number 15. Again, it's a win and you're in essentially for the AA playoffs for either side tonight.
Well,
should be a heck of a ball game
guys,
here tonight.
Is it just me, but is it dim out there? It just doesn't seem to be, especially on the left, on the Scott High receiving side. Actually, on both end zones, it just looks like there's not enough light. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's something we haven't really dealt with a lot of lighting. Normally we're dealing with rain this season, so we'll see how the lighting impacts when a ball is thrown in the air and it hits in some of those dim spots. It's a relatively gorgeous evening here in Madison tonight. 57 degrees our kickoff temperature. And
no wind.
No wind, just a little bit cloudy out here.
Cloudy on the field.
Does make it look awful dramatic, though, huh?
It's almost a spooky sight here
well,
just before Halloween.
Yeah.
As the kickoff is away, Skyhawks will receive, and at the 5, catching that is Brinegar. Brinegar bringing it up the middle of the field, makes a couple of nice moves, and makes his way all the way up to the 25-yard line. A nice 20-yard return on the opening kickoff for the Skyhawks. And this gives Matt Fry, their sophomore quarterback, some decent field position to start this opening drive here on their senior night.
Yeah, that's really what Brinegar does for this team. I mean, we saw it against Polka just here recently. Just an excellent returner, sets his team up well, and then helps out as a big-time receiver for him on the outside as well.
And both of these teams actually took big advantage of some kickoff returns against Polka in their respective games. The Generals took on the Dots 3 weeks ago. Scott took it on last week. Handoff quickly goes on the opening play to Cooper Martin. He drops the shoulder down and levels a defender as he gets up across the 30. They'll give him up to the 31-yard line. A nice 6-yard run. Check that. Make it a 7-yard run on 1st and 10. Bring up 2nd and 3.
Martin really just the lifeblood of this offense. You're going to see him carry the ball a lot and carry it very effectively.
86 more carries than the next leading rusher on the team, as Martin, the junior, has carried it 166 times for 857 yards. Jet snap goes to Brinegar on the outside, and Brinegar quickly met out there by that General defense. And he somehow did not go down, was able to keep fighting, and, well, it'll maybe be about a half-yard loss. Yeah, they'll give him a 1-yard loss, actually, back to the 31, so they'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
Still a manageable 3rd down, even with the loss there. Good job by Brinegar to make what could have been a big loss into as much as he could get.
See what the Skyhawk offense draws up here. 2 receivers split out to the far side of the formation. Snap comes back to Fry. Play action fake, a slant route. Pass is caught, and then the tackle is broken up as Jaden Sharps comes back for his first catch in 3 games. He's missed the last 3 contests for the Skyhawks and picks up a big 1st down there on the opening drive to keep this drive alive.
Just a basic play, well executed there. Good job of fighting for that extra yardage, because when he first made the catch, he was just a little bit short, but fighting for that extra yardage, giving his team a 1st down. 1st
and 10 up to the 40 now after a 9-yard reception by Jaden Sharps. Man comes in motion. That's Brinegar on the jet sweep. Check that. That is Landon Stone on the sweep. Stone across midfield and out of bounds into Winfield territory. He's got the 1st down, and a fresh set of downs upcoming for the Skyhawks.
And that was a great block by number 20, Cooper Martin. It's one thing to run the ball, but it's another dimension when you can throw a good block for your quarterback.
12-yard run there on 1st and 10 sets up the Skyhawks. 1st and 10 from the Generals' 48-yard line. Ball on the near side hash mark. 2 receivers split out to the wide side of the formation. A wing attached to the right. Handoff goes to Martin off the right side. And dragging him down from behind there is Jackson Cunningham. But able to pick up a couple extra yards there was Cooper Martin, just keeping those legs churning. Gets across the 45 down to the 44. A pickup of 4. Bring up 2nd and 6. Skyhawks move the ball pretty effectively so far on their opening drive of the game. Snap comes back to Fry. Quick throw out into the flat. That's caught by Brinegar. Brinegar with a move back inside. Get up across the line of scrimmage and gain maybe a half-yard, depending on where they spot the full ball. The ball might not be a full 1. That'll bring up 3rd down and medium for the Skyhawks.
It's really good execution. Really, really well executed.
third and a long 6 upcoming for Scott. Were able to convert on their previous third down attempt on a screen play that went to Jaden Sharps, team's leading receiver after being out 3 games. Handoff goes to Martin. Martin comes off the right side, and he'll be brought down shy of the first down marker. So he'll be stopped at the 41-yard line. Needed to get down to the 38 to keep the drive alive. But Scott right now going to stay out there and go for it here on 4th and short. Didn't need 3 yards to pick up the first down here.
Definitely that area where this is definitely the right move here, and with a running game you trust and a lot of playmakers, why not?
It looks like the Lane Kiffin money ball.
Generals jump offside, and it's a free 5 yards for the Skyhawks with that hard snap count. And Winfield will back it up defensively as they reset the sticks. Be 1st and 10 now from the 36-yard line for the Skyhawks. And marching down the field, began this drive back at their own 25-yard line, and they've eaten up almost 4 minutes of time off the clock already.
Man, they're really getting their playmakers involved early. Sharps getting involved, Brenniger, Martin already carrying the ball 3 times, getting the ball to their playmakers early, getting them warmed up.
1st and 10 from the 36. Man in motion is Brenniger. Pitch pass to him. He'll come around the outside on the near side, inside the 30, and ran out of bounds. Forcing him out there is Tanner Lowry.
Another good block by Martin.
Yeah, continuing to do a good job setting that edge for his offense, whether he's got the football or not. And that'll bring up 2nd and short now, down to the 30-yard line. Be 2nd and 3. Need to get down to the 26. 2nd and 4. Fry in the shotgun, has Martin to his right and trips out to the left. That's the wide side of the field. Handoff goes to Martin off the right side, has a nice blocker in front of him in Nance. Nance has got the block he needs there to get inside the 10. And man, what a great job by that center, Cody Nance, getting out there to set up that run for Cooper Martin from the 30 all the way down to the 8-yard line. Give him 22 on that run. 1st and goal for the Skyhawks. Yeah, just following those blocks like they've done so far all drive.
It's, like I said, great blocking.
So 1st and goal from the 8 for the Skyhawks. Fry in the shotgun, has Martin to his right. Sends a man in motion, that's Brenniger. Fake the handoff to him. Handoff goes to Martin, and he is stonewalled immediately. 2-yard loss back to the 10.
It's the first defensive play I've seen.
It's the first time that defensive front for the Generals has been able to get enough pressure into the backfield to force a loss.
Jackson Cunningham just blowing up the play immediately, giving, like I said, Winfield their first real big play here on what's been a fairly steady drive here for Scott so far.
2nd and goal from the 10. Handoff to Martin off the right side. Martin drops the shoulder, and he'll be brought down just shy of the 5. Looks like they'll give him the 7, so he'll get 3 yards there on that run. Bring up 3rd and goal now for the Skyhawks. Under 7 minutes to go in this first quarter. It's an over 5-minute opening drive for the Skyhawks. Began all the way back at their own 25-yard line.
And we talked about it on our drive down here. This is a game where possession is going to be a premium. Both teams take their time, have a strong running game, so every possession that much more important in an already important game.
And these two teams tied for 15th in the Class AA standings. Win and you're in, essentially. 3rd and goal. Handoff goes to Martin. Martin across the 5, trying to keep his legs moving. The football pops out, though. They say that he was down, though, before the ball came out. So that'll set up 4th and goal now for the Skyhawks. And they spot him down at the 1-yard line. So a 4-yard run there. And it'll bring up 4th and goal from the 1 for the Skyhawks. Scoring opportunity on the way for Scott. Fry takes the snap under center. Quarterback sneak. Does he get in? Still no signal yet. And they're not giving the touchdown signal. They're going to say the Generals' defense stopped him short of the end zone. Turnover on downs for the Skyhawks. After eating 6 minutes, 18 seconds off the clock and marching 74 yards down the field, the Skyhawks offense can't punch it in.
And that's the epitome of a bend, don't break defense when it get down to about the 1 foot line. Good job there, but Scott at least can go forward knowing that their offensive game plan works.
And in possession football, at least they're pinned back, so this is still not fatal. It's
Bryson Tate took the direct snap for the Generals, a 2-yard gain up to the 3.
They're playing fast football now.
Generals
hoping to catch a
another
defense
direct
off.
Snap to Tate. Tate up to the 5, so giving the Generals offense a little bit more breathing room. They'll bring up 3rd and 6 now. And out making the long run over from the far sideline is the normal starting quarterback, Bryson Brown, as he finally has some room to operate now instead of working from out of his own end zone. 3rd and 6 from the 5. Brown takes the snap in the shotgun, and he's quickly met. Skyhawks defense gets back to him in a hurry. Coming up with the sack there was, I believe that was Hayden Lawson. Yeah, Hayden Lawson, the senior defensive lineman, getting the sack, and the Generals will punt it away. And standing in his own end zone is Carter Perry. This could be dangerous.
Well, it's maybe a touchdown delayed as opposed to a touchdown stopped.
Generals hoping everything goes right here. Clean snap back to Perry. A decent kick in terms of being able to get it away, and takes a nice Generals bounce all the way back across midfield, and it'll roll all the way back down inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. A great flip of field position there on that punt by Carter Perry. So the Scott defense does its job after the offense can't punch it in.
You know, technically that's a 55-yard punt. It
rolled
most of the way.
Yeah, rolled
but
about 20 extra yards.
But the stat book's going to say 55 yards. That's not bad for a soccer-style kick.
Especially considering you're backed up under your own goal
exactly,
post.
He was literally standing on the edge of the end zone. He could not have taken another step back, or he would have gone out of bounds, and it would have been a safety.
That's the best you could hope for.
So 1st and 10 now for the Skyhawks. 2nd possession of this quarter. And before play can stop, it looks like Fry has an equipment issue. So he will have to check out. In will come Cole Elkins, the freshman quarterback. He will have to run at least this next play.
So we know what this play is going to be, and so does Winfield.
Expect a
freshman
dose
don't
of
throw
Cooper
the
Martin.
ball.
1st and 10 from the 44-yard line for the Skyhawks. Again, the freshman Cole Elkins in at quarterback with an equipment issue for Fry. Handoff goes to Martin. Martin with a decent run there initially. It looked like it had promise, but the Generals did a good job of stretching it out and limiting him to just a 1.5-yard gain. Well, they'll give him 2 up to the 46-yard line. So it'll bring up 2nd down and 8 now. It's a long 8. So Fry back in now after getting the helmet issue checked out. 2 receivers split out wide to the near side. That's Brinegar and Sharps. Fake the handoff rather to Martin, and that pass is intercepted.
Yep.
Fry was trying to find Sharps, and stepping in the way of that pass is Logan Howe, the junior linebacker, coming up with the pick for the Generals defense.
Yeah, that was a good-looking pick. Was able to read what was going on, dove in front of that one. Big play there for Winfield, a team that really needed a big play after looking pretty lifeless here for the first 11 minutes or so.
Yeah, especially on defense. It was
couple of quick possessions here now after the Generals have to go 3 and out and punt it away from out of their own end zone and then get a quick turnover. First play on this next series, Brown overthrows his intended target, Carter Perry, and incompletion will bring up 2nd down and 10 from the Skyhawk 48-yard line. Generals have really hit their stride the last 2 weeks, and honestly, you could say it started hitting its stride in that game 3 weeks ago against the Polka Dots, where it took a broken up 2-point conversion play to force that game to fall in favor of the Dots instead of going into overtime. And now, escaping out of the pocket is Brown. He takes a big lick after he lets go of the football. Throw over to the far sideline is incomplete, but we're going to have a late hit against the Skyhawks defense.
It can be tough on the defenders, especially when the quarterback's rolling out, especially when he's a running threat, but you just can't hit him that late, and just a bit of a mental lapse there going to cost him a few yards.
So they'll march off 15 from the line of scrimmage, and it'll be a fresh set of downs for Winfield. 1st and 10 now from the Skyhawk 34-yard line.
And it's unfortunate that that penalty got thrown, especially because really decent job there by Scott defense breaking through that offensive line and getting some good pressure up the middle. It can be difficult to get pressure up the middle as opposed to the outside, so great job there. And hopefully they can do it next time without getting the flag on them.
Direct snap goes to Bryson Tate, and Tate is met almost immediately as he tries to turn upfield. Quickly, the Skyhawk defense gets back there for a loss. Cody Nance making that big hit for the Skyhawk defense to lead the way and force a loss back to the 37-yard line. And we have a flag coming out now. This will be offsides on the Skyhawks, and that's just the kind of penalty you don't want to have after that big play defensively.
Yeah, that's 2 back-to-back that they've received more consistent yards on penalties at Winfield than they have in plays.
At this point right now, Winfield has 20 yards through penalty yardage, 1 yard of offense.
Yep.
A long look over to the sideline for Bryson Brown, the junior quarterback for the Generals. Now ready to go in the shotgun. A direct snap, though, to Bryson Tate. Tate right up the middle. A nice run there by Tate, as he'll get down inside the 25, down near the 20. 1st down for the Generals. Bryson Tate, their leading runner on the season, a 12-yard pickup there. Has over 1,000 yards on the season coming into tonight with still a game left to go. He'll get the direct snap carry here again. Spins off of one tackler inside the 15, diving to get some extra yardage, and he'll be brought down shy of the 10.
Identical play, too, straight up the middle.
Generals love those direct snaps to their tailbacks.
If it works.
Another direct snap again. Tate breaks out a one-arm tackle, keeps his legs moving forward, the pile pushing forward. And he'll have a 1st down inside the 10. 1st and goal coming up for the Generals. First and goal from the 8 for Winfield upcoming. A chance to break the scoring open here tonight. Scoreless so far, nearly 10 minutes into this first half. 2 possessions by each of these teams. This is the second one for the Generals after their first one ended in a 3-and-out and a punt from their own end zone. And the defense got a pick, and that's what sets us up here. 1st and goal from the 8. Direct snap run by Bryson Tate, and Tate stoved as he gets inside the 10.
Can only run that so many times before they start paying attention to what 18's doing there. But he's been the life of this drive. Tate's done a great job of pushing through and making the most of his blocking, especially running on that left side of their line.
No gain on that 1st and goal run, so 2nd and goal from the 8. We'll do it again. Bryson Brown back in the game now after subbing out for that last play. And, well, now we're stopping play here momentarily. Thought the Generals might take the timeout. Now they're resetting the play clock now. So still taking a long look over to the sideline for their play call. It'll be less than a minute to go in this first quarter when they finally snap the football. And now they're going to finally take the timeout. And so the Generals take the timeout. 1:01 to go here in this first quarter. We'll step aside for a quick break and then be back with more of our Game of the Week here from Madison, West Virginia, between the Skyhawks and the Generals right after this on High School Game Day on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media.
Walker. Chevrolet and Nitro wants to buy your vehicle. Drive a car, truck, or an SUV. The better the make and model, the more Walker Chevrolet is going to give you for your car. The reason is simple. They need inventory, and they need it now. Walker Chevrolet has already purchased more than 300 used vehicles from our friends and neighbors across the Kanawha Valley. And yours could be next. And before you think this is some kind of a gimmick, don't forget that Gene and Ryan have built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There's no games here, just honest, fair deals. So if you've got a vehicle that you'd like to sell, bring it to Walker Chevrolet in the shadow of the Interstate Bridge in Nitro and ask for John Rogers, Scott Linville, or Frank McClung. They're going to take real good care of you, and they're going to give you top dollar for your vehicle. And if you're looking for that hard-to-find truck, there's a good chance it's on the lot right now at Walker as well. Walker Chevrolet and Nitro is standing by to purchase your vehicle today, just off the Nitro exit of I-64. Walker Chevrolet, making...
Second and goal from the 8. Generals and Skyhawks back out on the field after the Winfield timeout. Bryson Brown under center, turns, pitches to Bryson Tate. Tate makes a cut back inside, but the Skyhawk defense stops him well short of the end zone again as he tries to stretch across to the 5. See where they spot the football here? He's going to be well short of the 5. Maybe a yard on that.
And Martin again, first one there, showing what he can do on defense there for the Skyhawks. Great job limiting them there, forcing a third down now.
Yeah, third and goal from the 7 now after just a 1-yard gain on that toss. Fake the toss, a pass, pitch out to Carter Perry, and Perry tries to go to the end zone looking for Bray Boggs. That pass incomplete, and that'll bring up fourth and goal now.
It was a great call. I don't know why it looked like the wide receiver stopped, or I guess from this angle it was over his head. I couldn't tell.
And Carter Perry was in the quarterback battle for the Generals in the beginning of the season, in the offseason. Hadn't played football since 7th grade, and then came back out, wanted to get some playing time, or try to get some playing time.
And has succeeded in getting playing time.
Cody Griffith hasn't played since 7th grade. Looked at my spotting chart wrong there. More Ilderson out for the field goal try, and he misses it poorly. Wow, it shanks that one hard down and to the left.
Yeah. I'm not sure Scott even really needed to influence that one. Just not a very good kick there. Might have been the hole, couldn't tell necessarily, but not what you're looking for when you send out the field goal unit.
Ilderton only made one field goal on the season, but after empty goal-to-go possessions for both teams.
And I mean, the way the Winfield offense is going so far, I don't blame them at all for rolling out the field goal, especially in a 0-0 game where it seems like points and possession giving it a premium just could not convert that opportunity. And really, in any level of West Virginia high school football, it's hard to get consistent kicking. So it
really is, unless you're one of the elite AAA schools.
Handoff goes to Martin.
So we're going to flip the field here now.
Yep, Martin up to the 25-yard line. Give him 5 on that run, and that should be the final play of this opening quarter, unless the Skyhawks sprint to the line and snap it here in the next second. And it's not going to happen. So they'll flip into the field, and we'll put 12 fresh minutes up on the scoreboard. Still scoreless after 1. Hotly contested ball game here in Madison for our game of the week between Winfield and Scott. We'll be back with the second quarter on High School Game Day right after this.
And terribly unreliable.
Yes, Joan. It's time to make change.
But don't worry, there's Frontier fiber optic internet. It has 25 times faster upload speeds than cable.
Woo! And you can use all your devices at the same time.
And look at weird stuff like me all night long.
Wow, that is really weird.
All night long.
That's right, Joan.
We all agree.
See the light. Switch to fiber. Frontier Fiber.
We know who we
Mike Bassett
are.
Welcome back to Scott High School here in Madison, West Virginia. Adam Rogers, Will Vance, and our special guest that you've heard throughout the first quarter, Rusty Webb from the Webb Law Center, one of our sponsors. A big thanks for you for sponsoring our broadcasts all year,
pleasure,
and thanks for joining us here back at your alma mater.
It's great to be back. Friday night football in Scott High School. It doesn't get any better, and this is a great – even though it's scoreless, it's been a great – I think it's been a good game so far. Both teams are executing. Both teams backed up, and
both teams certainly acting like they're in the position they're in where it's a basic win and you're in situation.
Yeah.
Throw over to the near side. Fry trying to hook up there with Landon Stone. And that pass is broken up, and that'll bring up 3rd and 5 from the 25-yard line. Excellent job on the near side coverage by Nico Petrozelli to break that pass up. Toss out to the near side. That goes to Martin. Martin breaks out of one tackle, but can't stay on his feet and keep his legs alive. Excuse me. Actually, that was actually Kevin Neal carrying that on the toss.
Neal so far the 4th ball carrier to tote the rock there for Scott, so definitely trying to get a lot of their playmakers involved, a lot of guys involved touching the football here and finding ways to get some yardage.
Well, that brings up 4th down as he gains a yard up to the 26, and back to punt is Cooper Martin. Martin on the season has punted it 4 times for the Skyhawks, a 36-yard average. Gets a end-over-end punt, takes a bounce, fielded off the bounce inside the 40 by Boggs, and Boggs finally forced out of bounds as he crosses around the 45. Thought he crossed the 45, but they're going to mark him out at the 44. So only about a 5-yard return on that punt.
That was a heads-up play to catch it off that first bounce. A lot of times that can be a dangerous move to try to catch off that bounce. But
I think it's very underrated. I think they should take the ball far more than they do. I think they're far too cautious. I love it when they pick up a punt.
I believe that was a 31-yard punt net there for Martin. It'll be a fake handoff there on a nicely designed play. Bryson Brown keeps it himself. He'll pick up 3 up to the 47-yard line.
And Brown's been out there for most of the play, but his first actual carry so far in this one so far has been Tate so far for Winfield with 26 yards on 8 carries set thus far in the game.
Brown lines up in the shotgun. Sends a man in motion. That is Tate. Brown under heavy pressure. Getting back there in a hurry is Cooper Martin coming off that outside edge. He was untouched.
Cooper Martin playing both sides of the ball. I like it.
Wow, what a quick
Athletes
reaction.
can do that. Athletes can do that. Athletes can do it, man. Both sides.
And he just came flying off that outside edge, and with Tate motioned out from the backfield, there was nobody there to pick him up.
Exactly. Tate normally would be the guy to pick up that extra heat off the edge, but just came so fast that there was no shot really there for Winfield to get their play going. Great job there by Martin, who, like we said, is really driving this team on offense and defense right now.
3rd and 18 for the Generals here. Have to get to the Scott 46-yard line. And the play clock runs out on the Generals, and they're not going to get a timeout in this time. Delay a game, back them up 5 yards more, now make it 3rd and 23.
Yeah, not a lot of energy we're seeing out of Winfield. Didn't seem like anyone was particularly urgent to get on the ball there or get that play away, so cost them 5 yards there.
Generals take the snap. Brown rolled to his left. Now he's going to step up, looking deep for Carter Perry. That pass is tipped, and it's almost intercepted. Thrown into quadruple coverage there. Brown trying to force one into Carter Perry, and that one comes up incomplete. 4th down and 23 on the way for the Generals.
Yeah, he's lucky that wasn't intercepted or stripped from the player.
If he had been able to get that pass away maybe a half second sooner, there was an opening there, but Scott defense converged on him.
Yeah,
and,
Tom Brady
no
could have pulled that off.
Now Perry back to punt, standing inside his own 20. Clean snap, gets a side off, comes off the side of his foot, it looks like. It goes out of bounds. We'll have to wait to see where they mark it.
It bounced at and hit the marker where they needed to get the ball to for a first down. So
yeah, they're going to spot it at the Scott 46-yard line.
23-yard punt.
Yeah, short yardage punt there. Wow.
Both teams really struggling with their special teams here, whether it be that missed field goal there by Winfield earlier. Both sides are struggling with their punting game.
Can you contact your soccer team in mid-game, because I know Winfield has an excellent soccer team. Maybe you can sub them out before halftime. Make a few calls.
Fry takes a shotgun snap, play action,
Oh,
fake, has
beautiful
Stone
play.
wide open. He makes the catch inside the 40, down inside the 25 now, and he's finally inside the 20 before he's brought down.
Yeah, that was a nice call.
Oh my goodness, what a throw over the top of the defense on the play action, fake to find Landon Stone for his 15th catch of the year.
It's just a little floater, man. Nobody was back there. Man on man coverage.
Down to the 19-yard line. Scott inside the red zone for the second time tonight. Can they come up with points this time, though? Got to 4th and goal from the 1 in the first quarter and came up empty.
35-yard during that play. By far the biggest play by either side so far.
Hand off to Martin. Martin bounces it outside, and he is bottled up quickly. He should lose a yard there back to the 20. Great job by that Generals defense to get out there in a hurry and cover him up. Caleb Cool helping make the stop for the Generals.
I figure going to give him no gain on that one.
Adam Rogers, Will Vance, and our special guest, Rusty Webb, joining us for this evening, one of our sponsors. He's our Play of the Game sponsor, and we appreciate him. That definitely right now a candidate up there, because we haven't had many big plays so far. 2nd and 10. Hand off on the jet sweep to Stone. Stone bouncing it outside. High steps out of a tackle. He's got enough for the first down, and he'll get inside the 10 before he's pushed out of bounds. Forced out at the 7.
Took about 12 yards there, and Stone's really been the bright spot of this offense so far. 3 carries for 29 yards, and that big catch just now was for 35. So more than half of the offense right now for Scott coming from Stone's efforts.
Got a timeout here. We'll keep you here in Madison. As again, our here with one of our sponsors, Rusty Webb, and Scott alum, as we've mentioned, but also an alum of Marshall and West Virginia University.
It's like the trifecta, right? It's the best of the best, yeah.
And a lot of excitement around both of your alma maters there for college. Marshall today officially announcing it's joining the Sun Belt Conference, going to join an exciting conference from, in my opinion, West Virginia. The Big 12 is expanding, adding in a couple of those AAC teams.
They have a travel partner now with Cincinnati.
It's an exciting time for college athletics in the Mountain State.
Scary at times for Marshall. WVU had it all the way, but I'm really, really happy for West Virginia University. The fans can finally go to an away game in Cincinnati, not a far trip. Marshall spread out all over from, I say, from Norfolk to West Texas, and now a better regional division and places that the Marshall fans, at least in my experience, like to go south. Now, I'm not old school Mac, okay? I'm younger than that. I know they like to go north, but I like to go south, and it's just a perfect opportunity for both schools.
And you got to bring both of those schools together earlier this year in a different sport than what we're talking about here tonight, as Stone takes the handoff on a jet sweep, trying to drop the shoulder toward the end zone. I think he gets to the goal line. And they're going to say he's short. We do have a flag that comes flying out on the near side, though.
That has to be a block. Has to be on Scott.
It's in the area of a hold, and that would explain why Stone was able to bounce it out to the outside as well as he did.
Holder blocking the back.
So we'll wait. It's going to be a hold on the Skyhawks, so that'll back them up 10 yards. But we were talking about the other sport where you brought those two
tennis,
teams together with
Thunder
Marshall
in the
and West Virginia. Great event there in Charleston.
Yeah, it was our inaugural event. It wasn't the first tournament that they played, but it was our inaugural event, and we had a really, really good turnout, and the teams really appreciated it. Marshall and WVU actually get along better than the message boards want you to believe.
Especially in those Olympic sports where they play a lot more often than
Yeah,
you realize.
yeah.
Fry under some heavy pressure here on 1st and goal from back outside the 20. Airs it out deep. Has
Are
a
you
wide
kidding
man
me?
open inside the 5.
Are you kidding me?
Jaden Sharps, the junior wideout, was left all alone.
Who's the quarterback at Auburn that looked just like Auburn out there? Running, scrambling, and throwing. That was beautiful.
Wow, what
Absolutely
a throw
beautiful.
by Fry. Under some pressure, lets it go and finds the wide open man, Jaden Sharps,
Wow.
to break this scoring open here in the second quarter.
Scrambling quarterback who can still throw. I love it.
22-yard touchdown pass.
How much of the Scott defense missed Sharps? Out for 3 games. Still their lead receiver after that, but so far 2 catching this one, 31 yards and that big touchdown. Just doing a great job of giving his quarterback somewhere to go when he saw him in trouble, and great individual effort by Fry keeping that one alive. Looking, finally finding his man to break this tie.
We do have an injured general down on the field, so he is being seen to by the athletic training staff. So that's why we have not kicked the extra point yet or have the extra point tried just yet. So hopefully everything is okay with him over on that far sideline. Hate to see somebody go down at any point in a game, but especially in a game where these two teams really need everybody they have to try to make that playoff push, as we're here in week number 10 of the high school football season in West Virginia.
It looked like he just got caught up in the scrum of folks chasing after the quarterback there.
Again, Adam Rogers, Will Vance, and our special guest, Rusty Webb from the Webb Law Center. And we've talked about some of the sports aspects of things that you're involved, but a lot of big litigation going on for you as well. I know you can't talk in detail about a lot of it, but a lot of big stuff going on with you.
Yeah, I'm in the opioid litigation, and I'm honored actually to represent the town of Madison in that, along with some really large cities like Huntington, Charleston, Parkersburg, Princeton. We're gearing up for trial in April again and waiting on a verdict from last May, or when the trial started. So we're trying to get some money to help abate this terrible epidemic. Boone County's been hit hard, double whammy, coal and drugs. It's just, but they're resilient people. They're great people here.
As the injured general is now ready to go, and before we can kick this one for the extra point, a flag comes.
Delay a game?
False start
the
Skyhawks.
Wow.
So they'll back up the extra point try, an extra 5 yards.
Isaac Doss got a little bit of a jump there.
Couldn't hold that water just a little bit longer. 8:03 left here in this second quarter. Skyhawks get the opening score of the game on a 22-yard pass from Fry to Sharp, where Sharp was left wide open inside the 5-yard line over on the far side of the field. As the kick is up, and it is good from Kevin Neal. Neal puts it through, and the Skyhawks take a 7-0 lead. 8:03 to go here in this first half. We'll step aside for a quick break and then be back with more action from our game of the week here in Madison on High School Game Day on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media.
Looking for a friendly bank that you can turn to in your community? Bank where the decisions on your needs are made locally. With online banking and 7 locations. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Back here at Scott High School in Madison, West Virginia. Here for our game of the week between Winfield and Scott on our High School Game Day platform. The RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media. Adam Rogers, Will Vance, and our Special guest, Rusty Webb from the Webb Law Center, and our Media Center crew here with us again this evening. Happy to have you with us as the Skyhawks, with a short kick, goes right at a General player, goes off his hands, and then the Generals are able to jump back on top of it and avoid the quick turnover there.
That was a dangerous play there to try to bring that one down. It was a good thought. Would have gotten great field position there, but especially that first line of your regular kick return generally to the guys with the best hands. A dangerous play there, but still good. Great starting field position there at the 41.
Yeah, fantastic starting field position here for the Generals, trying to tie it back up.
Was that an onside kick? Did they try? Or I can't tell if it was a blotch kick.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was more of a squib or an intended onside or what it was, but the Generals on the...
I'll tell you a story about that after a while.
1st and 10, quick throw out to Bray Boggs, and Boggs is bottled up quickly, gains maybe 2 yards, depending on where they give him the spot.
Adam, that's the first completion so far for Winfield's offense, which normally has a decent balance there. You know, like most teams lean on the run, but surprising that they haven't got the first completion until halfway through the second quarter.
Actually, just a 1 yard gain there. So we'll bring up 2nd and 9. Generals trailing after the score by the Skyhawks. See what they can do with this good field position, though. A couple of pump fakes from Brown, loads one up over the middle, and that complete to Boggs inside the 35. He's inside the 20, cuts back inside. He's still on his feet inside the 15, and he's finally forced out of bounds. We'll give him the 13-yard line. A great throw from Bryson Brown to find Bray Boggs.
Yeah, he was patient. He waited, he looked, he watched, he saw. Wait till he broke open. That was a well-executed play.
That's the best pass protection he's had all night, too. That offensive line gave him exactly the amount of time he needed to find his wide-open man.
Yeah.
45 on that one, I believe, if my math is correct.
We're journalists, folks, except for Rusty. Rusty's a lawyer, but we're journalists,
No,
folks.
I can do everything by a third. That's all I can do.
1st and 10 from the 13.
I can tell you what a third of any number is.
Generals trying to tie the score up here. Boggs, play action fake, airing it out again on a throw, trying to go across the middle, and that's incomplete. Looking for Boggs again, and breaking that pass up was, I believe that was Isaac Doss. So 2nd and 10, actually, excuse me, that was David Finnessy breaking that up. 2nd and 10 from the 13 for the Generals here on the road in a really must-win matchup for both sides. Tied for 15th in the Class AA standings. Top 16 get in. Brown, 5 wide receivers set. Quarterback power, breaks out of a tackle in the backfield, still on his feet, and he's finally brought down around the 10. Give him 3 yards on that quarterback power. Generals need to get down to the 3-yard line, keep the drive alive. 3rd and 7 on the way. Boggs split out wide. And the single wing for the Generals. Direct snap comes to Tate. Tate going to bounce it out to the left side. Great pursuit, though, coming from that safety spot by David Finnessy. Man, he read that exceptionally well. That's Scott secondary doing a great job coming up and filling in on those runs. I'll bring up 4th down now for the Generals inside the 10 at the 8. Bring up 4th and 5.
After that first field goal attempt, I think it's pretty safe to say they're going to stick with the offense here and try to punch it and tie this thing up.
Generals looking over to the sideline for the play call from Craig Snyder. Brown in the shotgun. Direct snap, though, goes to Tate. Tate off the right side. Drops his shoulder, or he'll be close to a first down. It depends on where they ultimately spot it. We're waiting for the signal. Well, the official...
This is just the flip of the first quarter.
Well, he was holding his fist up like it was 4th down. It's already 4th down. But now they're going to bring the chains over and actually measure it.
if they don't get it, it's just going to be a mirror image of what happened to Winfield and Scott in the first quarter.
Those defenses just really tightening up in the end zone so far in this first half.
Didn't get it.
Oh, wow, it's well short, by like a full yard short of the first down. Turnover on downs. Scott defense does its job again.
I'm not sure I've ever seen the chains pulled out on one that was that blatant. But, better safe than sorry, I guess, if their eyes told him it was that close. But the rest, like you said, now Winfield in the same, or Scott now in the same situation Winfield was in. Winfield was able to get only about 4 yards before they had to punt. Scott obviously looking to get more than that, and presumably here they're going to trust Martin to try to get them out of this, out of the shadow of their end zone. Actually, their goalposts, which are very short. Never seen that before.
Snap comes back to Fry. Handoff does go to Martin off the left side. Martin gets up across the 5-yard line, and he'll pick up 3 on 1st and 10. Adam Rogers, Will Vance, Rusty Webb, our guests with us this evening. Our Media Center crew, happy to have you along with us tonight for Week 10 of the regular season of high school football here in West Virginia. We got one more game left on the regular season. It's crazy to think we've played over 2 months of high school football already, and the playoffs are just 2 weeks away.
And both these teams fighting their hardest right now to make those playoffs, and we've been saying that this is a win-and-you're-in situation. The loser isn't necessarily out. We still have that last game of the season where they could potentially put themselves back in the conversation, but much more difficult for the loser of this game.
Handoff goes to the fullback Stone, and he'll gain a yard up to the 8. And just kind of
that's the beginning of the story, because the winner of this game, if they're ranked 16, they still have to go to the number 1 seed. So
yeah, depending on where they end up.
Be careful what you ask. I mean, you want to go, obviously, but it's still a hard road to the to Wheeling.
And that number 1 seed likely might be decided tonight, as we have Polka and Herbert Hoover doing battle up in Kanawkan. We'll have that score for you before too terribly long here on this show.
Fry throws out to the far side on a slant. That pass broken up. Great job there breaking that up. Tanner Lowry, the junior cornerback. And that'll bring up 4th down now, and the Skyhawks will have to punt it away. And
a little more room than Winfield had, I can say. So let's see if they get the 55-yard punt.
Yeah, Winfield's opening drive, again, they went 3 and out, and their punter had to stand on the edge of the end zone, fielding the snap. We do have a score update. We'll get to that here in just a second. A short punt from the Skyhawks. It'll take a Generals bounce inside the 40, and it's downed at the 37-yard line.
There's a flag on the
yeah,
play.
There is a flag back inside the 10, though, so we'll check that flag.
In the area of a possible false start, maybe a hold. You don't commonly see holds on punts, but it is possible.
We're going to get this checked, our official, but quick score update from that Polka Hoover game. Polka just trying to fake a field goal attempt before the end of the half, and pass gets broken up. 14-0 Hoover, your score at halftime there. So a false start by the Skyhawks. The Generals elect to take the result of the punt and have fantastic starting field position after that. Now the question is can they do something with it?
Skyhawks defense has played well all game. Don't expect it to change here, but again, definitely backed up already well into their own field position.
Bryson Brown in the shotgun, has trips to his left. That's the wide side of the field. Play action fake to Tate, throwing it across the middle, had Carter Perry, and he almost turned back to catch it with one hand, just couldn't haul it in. Man, he was wide open again there. Brown just couldn't time that throw right.
2nd down and 10. Generals have the ball on the Skyhawk, 38.
3:49 to go here in this first quarter. Still a 7-0 game after the Skyhawks scored just 2 possessions ago. Tight trips on the far side for the Generals, and play action fake to Tate. Heavy pressure comes to Brown. He's able to escape, fired over to the near side. A pass is caught by Ian Cottrell, and Cottrell will gain maybe 3 yards. Yeah, they'll give him 3 down to the 35.
And again, that pressure up the middle from that Scott front line, really doing a good job of getting pressure, forcing Brown to roll out, and you look for his only option, which was only a 3 yard gain there.
Third down on the way for the Generals. Just over 3 minutes to go. A game that this clock's just been rolling on because we haven't had very many pass attempts, honestly. As Brown airs it out now, that's complete. Caught by Boggs. Boggs trying to keep his legs moving, and he'll be brought down shy of the 30, down to the 31. Give him 5. That brings up 4th down now, though. Now the question of what do you do if you're the Generals? They're going to trot out the field goal team again. Moore Ilderton missed one in the first half, or first quarter, and he's going to try one here from a 47-yard try.
You certainly do love to see the faith from this coaching staff. We're not the ones who watch this kid warm up, so let's see what he can do.
And before the snap, a timeout taken by Scott. That is granted, and it'll stop the clock with 2:21 to go here in this first half. And again, we've got one of our sponsors here with us this evening, Rusty Webb from the Webb Law Center, but some other fantastic sponsors for us this evening and all season long: Dutch Miller Auto, Thomas Health System, HD Media, then Salango Law, Parmar Stores, Frontier Communications, Poca Valley Bank, Army Recruiting of West Virginia, Adelphia Sports, and Taze Physical Therapy, as well as Chick-fil-A Southridge, who sponsors our player of the game, which we'll have for you coming up in the fourth quarter. And again, Rusty from the Webb Law Center sponsors our play of the game, so we'll have that for you later on this evening as well. And Rusty, it's been a fantastic first half. Scoring not maybe what people thought it might be, 7-0 still, but it's been
still good football.
If you love football, this is a great first half of football.
So this kicker needs space to make a field goal. Short spaces don't do well for him, so let's see.
Cooper Martin is standing back in the end zone, awaiting a potentially short kick if it goes high enough in the air.
LSU,
a
Alabama.
47-yard try. Snap comes back cleanly. Kick is up, and it's going to be short. Martin will field it in the end zone, and he's going to bring it out. Just kidding, he can't. It's high school.
You can't do that.
Yeah, it's high school. Just kidding, it's high school.
I thought I was good. They need to change the rule is what they need to do, because was LSU Alabama?
Yeah, the kick six.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, there are a lot of special teams things that aren't allowed in high school. You can't take it out of the end zone if the kickoff's back there. You can't return a field goal. That was a good look.
Yeah, you can't return a 2-point conversion try.
And it wasn't a bad kick. I mean, it was short, but considering how far out it was, I can see now why that coaching staff has that faith in him after the debacle on that first attempt. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get a little bit closer next time, especially the way the points are in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they roll that field goal kicker out again. And
I'm calling Bernie Dolan. I'm calling Bernie Dolan tomorrow. I want a rule change.
I'm sure there's a lot of rule changes that people would love to see made.
I don't want it retroactive.
Well, and so now something's up with the ball positioning, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they kicked it from the 37, so that should be where it was spotted, I'm pretty sure, right?
It's like the old NFL rule where if you kick wherever you kick it from, it starts at the 20.
Yeah.
I don't think, unless I've never seen a missed field goal attempt from outside the 20 in West Virginia, which I don't believe. I don't know.
Okay, well.
The ball's at the 20 now.
Yeah, they're going to spot it 1st and 10 from the 20 in the middle of the field. Fry under center with 2:12 to go in this first half. Toss to Brenniger on the sweep. Brenniger trying to bounce it out real wide, and he's outside the numbers before he gets forced out of bounds across the 25-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 2:03 to go here in this first half.
Man, I might be impressed with Brenniger's play every time I've seen him. Real great speed, real great ability to get to that edge, and you can really tell that Scott really tries to figure out ways to get him involved and get the ball into his hands.
Preston Cooper hauling behind to get off the field there so that the Skyhawks didn't have too many men on the field. So they broke the huddle. Trips come to the near side. A high snap back to Fry. Fry just going to have to jump on. Wow, he somehow scooped it up, but he loses even more yards. His momentum, he couldn't control it, and then he ended up falling back even farther. Back to the 3-yard line. Oh, my goodness.
That's the real first offensive miscue we've really seen other than that interception early in the game. But real tough break there for Scott. Would have been a tougher break if he hadn't been able to get on top of it, though.
That's a 22-yard loss on a high snap.
Yeah,
I mean,
bad.
That's debilitating at this point. With now a minute 43 to go in the first half, you're up 7-0. You really, with enough time there, could still have gone down and scored. Now, granted, third and forever is going to be hard to come by, but they could still do it. We've seen crazier things happen in football. But this is going to be third down and literally forever. They've got to go 20.
They need a running play to get them some room to punt it. That's what you've got to do right now. There's no other option.
And the Generals took the time out there, stopped the clock with a minute 43, trying to preserve themselves some time to potentially go down and score and at least get some points on the board before halftime after 2 missed field goals and a stopped 4th down try in the goal area.
I like to see Martin toe the rock here, and he has the big play potential. He could take it there, but like Rusty said, mainly here you want to give some room for your punter after we've seen both punters have to work out of their end zone.
Wow, that's really the first bad play we've seen the center, Cody Nance, make in the last 2 weeks. Excellent job as that center, does a great job of pulling out for them on traps. That was a great job defensively for him as well. Toss to Martin, he's in the end zone, just gets out of the end zone, and he'll fight his way up across to the 5. He avoided that initial contact, and that saved them a safety.
Yep.
So that'll bring up 4th down, and now out will come the punt team, and Martin will just head back to await the long snap to send it away to the Generals.
Didn't think about the time, but Martin out there trying to give himself some space to get that punt off. Got himself about an extra yard, not backed up quite as much as he could be. But a great athlete back there, plays both ways and the punter. So let's see if he could give himself a little bit more space there.
Just a tough situation for the Skyhawks. They're going to have to move quickly. There's 5 seconds on the play clock. Now they're going to take the penalty, or took a timeout. Excuse me. Okay, I was going to say, wow.
Well, heck, just take the penalty at this point.
Taking the penalty for Scott, you're backing him up 5 yards. You kick from the 3 at that point. It'd be half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, probably be a half the distance goal.
They're at the 5 now, so yeah, it'd be at the 2.5. It's not what you want, but at this point, you got to take your time out. You can't take him with you, and you want to try to leave Winfield with as little time as possible now, under a minute, 54.6 seconds to go in this first half. Again, Adam Rogers, Will Vance, and our special guest, Rusty Webb from the Webb Law Center, one of our fantastic sponsors tonight and every night throughout this football Friday night this year, our high school game day broadcasts.
Martin reminds me of who he's now the head coach at Parkersburg High School, Mike Bias, who played when I was here, and he was a stud, and he did it all. He punted, quarterback, running back, linebacker, and he did it for 4 years, and then he went to Tech, or WVU, and then to Tech, and so.
Mike Bice trying to turn around that Parkersburg program up there.
Went
done a good job.
Last year, went to the playoffs. Only in his 3rd year. It's good to have him back.
Quite a bit of injuries up there at Parkersburg this year. Will and I went up to do their Spring Valley game in week 2 and had lost their starting wide receiver in the first game, lost another wideout in the second game against Spring Valley. They were just losing guys right and left, it seemed like, in that contest. And so the Big Reds up to 3-5. Yeah, snap goes down into the turf, and Martin just covers it up, and instead it's a safety instead of a touchdown. But definitely not the way you want to end this first half if you're the Skyhawks, giving up the safety with 50.6 seconds left to go in the half. And now you have to free punt or kick it away to the Generals again with less than a minute to go, where they could potentially get some more points on the board before the half.
And punting away is not necessarily the most appetizing thing for Sky. They've had some issues so far in the first half with even beyond that, just the distance. So, tough situation here. Now, Winfield is not known for moving quickly, but every team practices that situation and trying to score before the end of the half.
tough turn of events as we see head coach Craig Snyder over on that far sideline talking to his generals about what to do here on this kick. But, wow, from bad to worse there for the Skyhawks after the high snap went over, cost them 22 yards, and then thought they were going to be able to punt it away and get out of any trouble. And unfortunately, the low snap goes into the turf, and Martin just had to eat it because if he didn't, the Generals got back there so quickly they would have just jumped on top of it, and it would have been 6 instead of 2.
I thought he had to punt the ball.
Well, they're back now at the 20 because if you kick it off, you kick it off from deeper instead of the free punt.
Okay.
Or the free kick, really, where it's a drop punt almost.
Yeah,
but,
right.
So, high kick, Neal boots it, and it's muffed by Boggs. He'll scoop it up, though, at the 35, and he'll come up across midfield now. A decent return for Boggs, and he's just got Neal, the kicker, to beat really over to that far sideline. Neal finally forces him out at the 25. A great job there.
Late hit.
Yeah, flag coming in over there, and again, now it's just making matters worse for the Skyhawks.
Add another 15.
If that is indeed against Scott, which it seems like it is, that's going to be well inside the red zone when Winfield gets the ball. We said they'd have to hurry, but you don't have to hurry as much when you're already in presumable field goal range.
Personal foul on the Skyhawks, so again,
it looked like they just tried to continue that tackle a little bit too far outside, out of bounds there.
Boggs picked it up at the 35, ran it all the way back to the 31 on the other side, or excuse me, the 21.
And that's even considering he muffed it to begin with. Went right through his arms to begin with. Got a little bit of a late start, and that's a great return made better for Winfield by the foul on Skyhawks.
Christian, they'll get him down to the 22. So the Generals now 1st and 10 from the 12 with 37 seconds to go. Brown looking for the end zone for Carter Perry on the near side, and he's got the touchdown. What a turn of events here in the first half. The Generals now take the lead 8-7 after the safety, the long kickoff return by Bray Boggs, and the Generals get the touchdown pass there to take the lead 8-7 with 31 seconds to go. Extra point on the way.
It seemed like nothing was going well for this Generals team all during their first half, and then in about a 3 or 4 play sequence, everything just turns around for them.
That's football.
It's special teams.
Yeah,
special teams are something important all the way from the pros down to high school. If your special teams are good, they make special plays.
And they're going for 2.
Yeah, 2-point conversion try. Getting it in is Bryson Brown, and that makes it a 3-point game instead of a 2-point ball game. 10-7 Generals with the lead. 31.4 seconds to go here in the first half, and wow.
Strategically, you want to take 2, but the way the kicker's been kicking, you almost are forced to now. So, for 2 reasons, Winfield had to run the ball.
Yeah, certainly getting that 3-point cushion. Definitely crucial, especially in these early stages where, we might not be looking at too many more points scored in this game the way these defenses are playing and the way these special teams are playing.
Again, a safety recorded by the Generals defense after a low snap on the 4th down punt attempt for Scott. And then less than 20 seconds later, the Generals hit a long kickoff return, a personal foul on Scott, 1st and 10 from the 12, and then a 12-yard touchdown pass from Brown to Perry to put Winfield in the lead 10-7.
And now if you're Scott, you're just hoping to safely get this kick and
how many timeouts?
take to the half.
How many timeouts?
Should be no timeouts if I'm mistaken,
okay.
Or maybe possibly 1. I believe Scott's taken at least 2. Not seeing those on the scoreboard, so I'm not
the
sure.
Scoreboard. Yeah.
I have been keeping track of those. I probably should have been marking those down. Generals?
Well, like I say, if this is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, timeouts in 34 seconds matter, but here it's probably not.
Low kick on the ground, scooped up by Neal inside the 15. And Neal trying to get back in the middle of the field. Will be brought down shy of the 25. We do have a flag that comes in there from the backside.
Backfield, yep. That's against Scott again.
Yeah, more than likely in the area of a hold. See ultimately what they rule it as. Haven't gotten a signal just yet. He's trying to get the football over to the Scott side, or to the Winfield side, rather.
Face mask. Well, they're walking. They're facing that way.
Yeah, it is going to be on the Skyhawks. Yep. Yeah, it's a face mask on Scott.
Wow.
No, back it up to the 10-yard line. Now, that's a 15-yard penalty after the kickoff return.
That is so rare. A face mask on the offense on the kickoff.
And they didn't call that as incidental either. That's the other thing. The incidental is only 5 yards.
Yeah, so that means it was a good solid grab on there. So just the issues for Scott continue here as they try to escape this first half.
Handoff goes to Martin. Martin gets up across the 15.
Oh, did he drop the ball? Oh,
yes,
wow.
He did.
Winfield
He lost
has
the
the
football.
ball.
Generals pounce on top of it. And another turnover for Scott.
23 seconds left. Might as well be an eternity at this distance.
Well, they say bad to worse. Things have gone from bad to worse.
Wow, just 8 seconds, or not even 8 seconds, has come off the clock since the score by Winfield, and now they set up 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line with still 23.6 seconds to go. Generals trying to make it a 16 or 17-point swing here in the last minute of this first half. And stoppage in play here, a timeout for Scott. So the Skyhawks did have one timeout left there. Wanted to
couldn't use it the way they wanted to, but yeah.
We'll keep things here as we mention some of our sponsors again this evening. Of course, we've got Rusty Webb with us here this evening from the Webb Law Center, our play of the game sponsor, as well as we'll have our player of the game in the second half coming up for you from Chick-fil-A Southridge. Also some other fantastic sponsors, Dutch Miller Auto, Thomas Health System, HD Media that powers our RSN sports broadcasts each and every Friday night, Bensalengo Law, Parmar Stores, Frontier Communications, Poca Valley Bank, Army Recruiting of West Virginia, Adelphia's Sports Bar and Grill, and Tay's Physical Therapy. And again, they'll have the Dutch Miller Tailgate Show, I believe, from Adelphia next Wednesday. Have to check with Dana, make certain that schedules align there. I know sometimes it's on Wednesday or it's at Chick-fil-A sometimes. Depends on what all's going on. But we do know where we're going to be next week, though, for our high school game day game of the week. We will be back in Charleston for the matchup on the Hill between the Capital Cougars and the George Washington Patriots.
That crosstown rivalry, always a good time up there in Charleston.
No matter the records for either side, that one always a hotly contested game. As we're back underway, Brown fires over to the far side, and that one dropped. Tanner Lowry couldn't look in the pass, and then the deflection went to Landon Stone, and Stone couldn't find it to bring it in. But that takes off about 5 seconds off the clock on that pass attempt.
You know, and honestly, for the Generals, probably better that went incomplete. With how much time is left, he wasn't going to score on that play, judging where the defense was. So it might be a little bit of a blessing there that it fell innocently to the turf.
Lowry, Perry,
very nice turf, by the way, up here at Scott.
Lowry, Perry, and Boggs trips to the wide side of the field. Lone receiver to the near side is Cottrell. Brown drops back to pass, looking for Cottrell on the near side, going back corner end zone. He makes the catch, but he's well out of bounds. Incomplete will bring up 3rd and 10 from the 15.
It looked like that was basically the same play they ran to Perry for that first touchdown pass, just not quite the same timing there.
It'll be interesting to see if they pass the ball for the touchdown or they run it to give their 0-3 field goal kicker another opportunity.
13.1 ticks left on the clock. Skyhawks near sideline trying to fire up their defense to get a stop here.
Got the pass written all over it.
Brown under some pressure, able to just get out of it. Heaves one toward the end zone. The pass is up, tipped, and it's intercepted. Picked off in the end zone by David Fennessy. Fennessy with another great play for the Scott defense, forces the turnover with the pick and keeps the Generals off the scoreboard after a long return after the touchdown.
And finally some luck for the Skyhawks here, escaping what could potentially turn into a 17-point minute there for the Generals, able to escape. Hopefully, I said this about 30 seconds ago, and it wasn't true, but hopefully escaping this first half here where
I say they take a knee.
They've been so up and down.
Yeah, after the last handoff to Cooper Martin, he fumbled and gave it right back to the Generals. I'd imagine a knee would be taken here as Fry lines up in the shotgun.
Nope.
No, he's going to try to drop back and pass. Heaving one deep down the near sideline, and that one's intercepted. Nico Petrozelli with the pick for the Generals. But that is the final play of the first half. Generals with a 10-point swing in the final 50 seconds of the half to take a 10-7 lead into the locker rooms. Wow, what a first half of football here in Madison, West Virginia.
There's about a half's worth of drama packed into that last minute or so.
Yes.
Wow, what an unbelievable first half of play. We go to the locker rooms with Winfield leading on the road 10-7 over Scott on the Skyhawks senior night, trying to play spoilers. We'll step aside for a break, and then when we come back, we'll chat a little more with our special guest, Rusty Webb, on the halftime show. That's all after this here on High School Game Day on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media.
Walker Chevrolet and Nitro wants to buy your used vehicle. That's right. Walker Chevrolet is standing by to give you top dollar and wants to buy your vehicle today. Whether you drive a car, truck, or an SUV, the better the make and model, the more Walker Chevrolet is going to give you for your car. The reason is simple. They need inventory and they need it now. Walker Chevrolet has already purchased more than 300 used vehicles from our friends and neighbors across the Kanawha Valley. And yours could be next. And before you think this is some kind of a gimmick, don't forget that Gene and Ryan have built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There's no games here, just honest, fair deals. So if you've got a vehicle that you'd like to sell, bring it to Walker Chevrolet in the shadow of the Interstate Bridge in Nitro and ask for John Rogers, Scott Linville, or Frank McClung. They're going to take real good care of you, and they're going to give you top dollar for your vehicle. And if you're looking for that hard-to-find truck, there's a good chance it's on the lot right now at Walker as well. Walker Chevrolet and Nitro is standing by to purchase your vehicle today, just off the Nitro exit of I-64. Walker Chevrolet, making friends, one deal at a time.
Joan, your internet service is horribly slow and terribly unreliable.
Yes, Joan. It's time to make a change.
But don't worry, there's Frontier fiber optic internet. It has 25 times faster upload speeds than cable.
Woo! And you can use all your devices at the same time.
And look at weird stuff like me all night long.
Wow, that is really weird.
All night long.
That's right, Joan.
We all agreed.
See the light. Switch to fiber. Frontier fiber optic internet.
We know who we are, where we've been, where we're going. Like hospitals all over America, we are changing, redefining, restructuring ourselves to be the best community health system in the region we serve. We are 2 hospitals with more than 30 locations, 450 providers, and one mission: to heal. As one, we are Thomas Health, caring for our communities today and tomorrow.
Looking for a friendly bank that you can turn to in your community? Bank where the decisions on your needs are made locally. With online banking and 7 locations. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
People keep asking me how Todd Judy Ford has the best selection of vehicles at a time of national shortage.
The secret is our 130% of Kelly Blue Book for your trade-in.
Everyone wants to trade the car with us and get more money.
And now we're making it even better.
We will beat any other dealer's trade offer by $1,000 guaranteed.
If we can't beat it, we'll just give you the cash.
So bring in that car, upgrade your vehicle, and get top dollar for your trade-in now.
Just go to ToddJudyFord.com and see for yourself.
What started as the Parmar Oil Company in 1967 has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Parmar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Parmar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Parmar store near you now, you will soon. Parmar Convenience Stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
The relationship between a lawyer and a client is based on trust. You have to make certain that the lawyer you hire has your best interests at heart. We typically meet our clients at the worst times of their lives, and it's our job to help them. Over the years, we've been entrusted with some of the biggest cases in West Virginia. That's because we have a track record of success and getting exceptional results. We built a reputation as one of the go-to law firms throughout the state of West Virginia.
Joining me, high-profile lawyer Ben Salango. Ben, it's a real honor to have you on.
In fact, many of our cases come from other lawyers. Lawyers who've worked with us, lawyers who've worked against us, and even those who've merely heard of our results. We're proud of the reputation we've earned in the community for providing exceptional, aggressive legal representation. When you hire my law firm, you don't get excuses, you get results.
In the history of Dutch Miller Hyundai, there has never been a better time to trade in your car. Because of major supply chain disruptions, your vehicle is worth more than it ever has been. Even if you're not looking to trade in your car, we're interested in buying your vehicle at up to 30% above fair market value. We have customers trading in their vehicles that are getting more now than they paid for it. Learn more and text or chat now at DutchMillerHyundai.com.
Come check out the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles with friends and family pricing for everyone.
Back here at Scott High School in Madison, West Virginia. Adam Rogers, happy to have our special guest with us, Rusty Webb.
My volume's fine. I can't hear you.
Adam Rogers and Rusty Webb, happy to have you back with us here in the halftime of our contest between the two teams tied for 15th in Class AA and Winfield Generals and the Scott Skyhawks. Skyhawks celebrating senior night tonight, and we've got our alum from Scott.
Well, I have a senior here, so yeah. I'm a senior.
And it's been a good first half. I mean, a tough final minute there for the Skyhawks and for the home fans faithful, but a good first half of football.
The score doesn't really show the good football we've seen. Yeah, and all the turnovers. Yeah.
So, mention alum of Scott High School. How does it feel to be back here again and see some of your old stomping grounds again? You mentioned it's been the first time you've been back for a football game in about a decade.
Well, there are no strangers here. Just up in the press box, I've run into 2 or 3 friends from high school and from legislature, and it's just a big family over here. Boone County. We refer to ourselves by our county over here. We don't refer to it by. So we're all from Boone County. We never mention our town, so it's kind of interesting, I think. So. But never a stranger. Great people, very resilient. As I said before, they've been hit with the economy. They've been hit with drugs. Boone County, because I'm in this opioid case, has statistically the highest per capita of abstinence syndrome for babies, which is not good, which means you have to put that many more dollars into helping families and children. So we're hoping to bring money in to Boone County and the rest of the state. Yeah.
And I know with your opioid suit that you're not seeking damages for that, correct? Because that would be to seek for what had already happened.
Past, yeah. We're asking for future what we call abatement, which is how to fix it, how to fix the problem. And in the Huntington case, we put on the board just for Huntington Cabell, we're asking for $2.5 billion over 10 years just for Huntington Cabell. So you can extrapolate from that, on a population basis about where we'd be in Boone County.
Yeah, that'd be huge for many parts of the state to get that settlement for those respective communities.
But aside from that, I also do car wrecks. I do any personal injury. I was in family law for 30 years. I did God's work for 30 years for children and families, and now I'm exclusively on the injury side. So that's if you need that, I'm there. I don't just do huge, gigantic, once in a lifetime cases. I also do the small cases as well. So.
Again, we're here with Rusty Webb from the Webb Law Center, a graduate of Scott High School, also a graduate of Marshall University and West Virginia University. Went to West Virginia University for law school, went to the law college there. Great institution there, and both of those institutions are starting to make up some noise in their respective conferences, and Marshall moving to that new conference in the Sun Belt.
And I was looking at some statistics today online about West Virginia University and how they stand in the new Big 12 with the new teams that are coming in, and they're a little bit ahead of Iowa State statistically on TV and revenue and athletic budgets, and so they're going to be right in the middle of the pack of this. So I think you're going to see more wins than you have in the past because let's face it, you're taking out some of the 2 top teams in the nation that are going to the SEC. So I think Mountaineer fans ought to be encouraged. On the other hand, Marshall has to be encouraged about going to the Sun Belt. CUSA is going to be basically an FCS conference after this is all over. And the AAC, which was supposed to be the promised land, is going to be in parity. We'll see.
Yeah, it's essentially Conference USA Part 2.
Yeah, I'd like to see in 2023 how it stacks up. One full season where each has their new conferences, and I'll be interesting to see. My hope is that the Sun Belt will be better than the AAC because they're such snobs, and they didn't take us twice, but we didn't take them the second time. It's like a girlfriend thing. Now we don't want you. But what I really like about both conferences is West Virginia now has a traveling companion. West Virginia's fans have not been able to, unless you have a jet, you've not been able to go to an away game. And quite frankly, Marshall hasn't had a rival. Western Kentucky has come close. Yeah, but now, JMU. JMU will be, I believe, will be the rival. Because it'll be the closest proximity to Harrisburg is going to be the closest proximity to Huntington. So, and I think we're going to get back together with Southern Miss. I think Southern Miss, we kind of had a connection with ECU when the 2 days we were in their conference together, but now we have a connection with Southern Miss because we're the only 2 that have stayed together. So I'm excited about 2023. If it doesn't already happen in 2022. So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot going on at Marshall. They announced the new conference today, announced a new president yesterday, going to take over in January or end of December, I guess.
Wow.
Brad Smith taking over for Jerry Gilbert. A lot happening in Huntington.
Yeah, a lot happening in Huntington, a lot happening for West Virginia. I'd never like to limit Marshall to just the Huntington area, so I always say West Virginia, just like I do with West Virginia University. They're both great schools, and they both can bring great things to our state. And I look forward to seeing what is essentially a rock star, coming to Marshall University. I mean, just if you could pick anyone in the country to be your school president, this is the guy you'd pick. I mean, you just can't get any better than Brad Smith, and the fact that he's a homeboy is even better. Sarita Canova.
He's got big goals and big aspirations for his
alma
mater.
He sure does. And I've already talked. I've spoken with him. Whether he wants my advice or not, I'm going to give it to him. But I can rest easy now because I really think he gets. He's a progressive in the sense that mediocrity is not in his playbook. Mediocrity, the localism. I think you're going to see big things from this president. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, big things across the board in the state of West Virginia, from your opioid suits going on to Marshall and West Virginia and their respective things with their athletic programs going on. A lot of excitement just around the state, and a lot of big things happening for this state coming up. So excited to have it all unfold for us. Just a matter of months or years from potentially some of this stuff.
Yeah, I was an athlete at both universities. I think I have the distinction of being the only non-football player. I think some football players have transferred back and forth. I know they did after the crash. I know some WVU players have transferred to Marshall, but I don't know of anyone who's ever played 2 different sports at each university. And I'm going to say I'm the only one who's done that. So until somebody, like the sign is, convince me I'm wrong.
So you were a swimmer at
So
Marshall.
Walk-on swimmer at Marshall, yeah.
And then you were on the rowing team at WVU as a law school
As a
student.
law
That's
student.
that's what is impressive when you look at it. Being a student athlete is an intense work as it already is. But trying to be a student athlete and be in law school.
Well,
that's impressive.
Well, the thing about rowing is you have to be on the river at 6 a.m., so it doesn't really interfere with your studies because you're at this ungodly hour rowing and dodging barges on the Mon River. But I did it. I've been the type of person that when I see something and I want to do it, I do it. I jump into it. So I wanted to row, and I did it. I did it. I was the old man. I was the stroke. I was the guy who kept the pace. I was a little bit older than the other guys, 17 and 18, or the 18, 19-year-olds. But we had a good time. I did 1 year, and then I started the rowing club in Charleston when I came back. We had a rowing club out of the University of Charleston. We used their boats, and they've always been, of course, UC has always been great with everything in Charleston. So.
And we mentioned too earlier your foray into sports earlier this year with the Thunder in the Mountains tennis tournament with Marshall, West Virginia, UC, I believe, was part of that.
No, actually it was State. State
was
the only Division II school. We had Villanova, Radford, and a school out of Pennsylvania called St. Francis that I'd never heard of. And what I decided to do, I'd seen them in 290. We didn't have it in 220 because of COVID, but I wondered. I played a lot of tennis. I'm an empty nester now. My daughter is a senior at the University of Kentucky, and so my wife and I'm looking for things to do in the evening. So I started playing tennis again, a lot of tennis. And so I go down on a Friday afternoon in late September in 2019, and I see all these women tennis players, and I just assumed it was the University of Charleston having a tournament because that's their home, their home courts. And there was James Madison, ironically, Toledo, Akron, WVU, and Marshall. And so I started asking around, coaches, and I knew Marshall's. I was acquainted with Marshall's coach. Walked up to WVU's coach, talked to a couple of tennis enthusiasts that were there, and I said, this is kind of a big deal. We need to make this an event. So 2 years later, we had the media center there, which, by the way, does ABC, NBC, the media center. You would not know the difference. So they do a great job. They streamed the last day, which was when Marshall plays WVU. That's the highlight of the tournament. And I treated it like a professional tournament. Everybody got swag bags with T-shirts. They didn't have to pay for a meal, and they basically treated them like as best I could, like pro players, and they so much appreciated it. And what really, really, really impressed them was that I had the foresight to buy. They're all foreign students. I mean, 90% of them are from other countries. A few from West Virginia, a few from around the country, but by and large, most from other countries. So I bought flags and flagpoles for every single country that was represented at the event. And one girl noticed that hers wasn't there. And so what I did, I went out and bought it real quick. Took down. I had two American flags that I didn't need two, and I took it down and put it up. And it was the Czech Republic, and just made her day. So and it just. I'm if you heard Brad Smith's interview with WSAZ, his wife, who's an attorney, she said she wants, one of her goals as the First Lady of Marshall is to empower women. And I just have this thing for women's sports. I support UC's women's team, State's women's team, WVU, Marshall. I raise funds for them. I have a daughter and I have a wife, and I want, they usually get not as much as the guys. So I want to try to help women's sports. It's my thing.
So obviously, I'm assuming plans in the works already for next year?
Yes, we already have a date. It'll be the same date. It'll be the last weekend of September. We're trying to up our competition. What we're really looking for is Virginia Tech and Kentucky. And the reason, not in addition to the fact that it's the SEC, ACC, is that they both have very strong alumni base in the Valley. And see, I need a crowd. I didn't get the crowd I wanted, and if I had the teams, it would come organically for me. So we're looking at that. I already have sponsors locked in. Now that they're bringing back Regatta, I have to start early because I don't want the money to dry up. So I have all the sponsors coming back. At just WVU, Marshall, they've just been great. And you were talking earlier about distance, CUSA and the Big 12. Well, as you know, until this all happened, WVU was going to join Conference USA next year and already plays Marshall.
Yeah, for men's soccer.
And that's a great rivalry, and we can't let that get away. And I hope they'll join us in the Sun Belt, but I hear they're going to go to the Big Ten, is what I hear. They were in the MAC, now I think they're going to go to the Big Ten, whatever. But our Olympic sports, they actually get along really well. I think we play volleyball, we play women's tennis, which by the way are the only teams we have. We don't have men's tennis at either two schools, but it's just good stuff. It's just good fun, and it's in my backyard, and I like doing it. I like doing it. I like doing charity work. My wife said, "You're going to do it next year?" I said, "What else do I have to do? I've got these big breaks between these trials, and I want to help. I just want to help."
Well, Rusty, we
took
appreciate
up the whole half.
Hey, we appreciate you joining us. It's been great spending time with you in the first half here at halftime. Yeah. We appreciate you joining us on the broadcast and for sponsoring our broadcasts all season long. So thank you so much for what you do to help us get these games on. And again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you too. Well, thank you, Adam. I'm going to let you guys go so I don't say anything stupid the second half. I've got to get back to Charleston.
All right, well, that was Rusty Webb joining us here at the half between Scott and Winfield. 10-7, Generals with the lead. As we get ready to start the second half of play, we'll step aside for a break, and then we'll get you ready for the start of half number 2 here in Madison. That's coming up right after this on High School Game Day on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media.
Walker Chevrolet in Nitro wants to buy your used vehicle. That's right. Walker Chevrolet is standing by to give you top dollar and wants to buy your vehicle today. Whether you drive a car, truck, or an SUV, the better the make and model, the more Walker Chevrolet is going to give you for your car. The reason is simple. They need inventory, and they need it now. Walker Chevrolet has already purchased more than 300 used vehicles from our friends and neighbors across the Kanawha Valley. And yours could be next. And before you think this is some kind of a gimmick, don't forget that Gene and Ryan have built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There's no games here, just honest, fair deals. So if you've got a vehicle that you'd like to sell, bring it to Walker Chevrolet in the shadow of the Interstate Bridge in Nitro and ask for John Rogers, Scott Linville, or Frank McClung. They're going to take real good care of you, and they're going to give you top dollar for your vehicle. And if you're looking for that hard-to-find truck, there's a good chance it's on the lot right now at Walker as well. Walker Chevrolet in Nitro is standing by to purchase your vehicle today, just off the Nitro exit of I-64. Walker Chevrolet, making friends, one deal at a time.
Back here at Scott High School, Adam Rogers, Will Vance, happy to have you along with us here on High School Game Day on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media. Quick scoring summary from that first half. Took till the 8:03 mark of the second quarter for us to get any scoring going, when Jaden Sharps caught a 22-yard touchdown pass from Matt Fry to take a 7-0 lead for the Scott Skyhawks, and then things started to come apart in the final minute of the half for Scott. A safety on a low snap on a punt attempt in the end zone where Cooper Martin just had to eat on top of it, because if not, it would have been 6 points for the Generals instead of 2. Then, less than 20 seconds later, the Generals score on a 12-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Bryson Brown to Carter Perry. And from 12 yards out, and then the 2-point conversion run by Brown made it a 10-7 ball game just before the half. And thought the Generals might even get a chance to score there before the end of the half again because of a fumble by Cooper Martin. But fortunately, the Generals weren't able to score. For the Skyhawks defense did a great job forcing that stop. But now, question, Will, is what do you do if you're Scott? Like, you were playing on your heels in that final minute instead of playing back up on your toes like they had been.
Well, I mean, frankly, it's very unlikely that series of events is going to happen again. So Scott just got to come out here, not worry about the last minute of that half. And really, other than that, they were moving the ball. They had some difficulties in the red zone, but they have the formula for moving the ball right now. They just need to be able to finish these drives and just trust this running game, which has worked well between the 20s. They just need to work inside the 20s. And for Winfield, basically the same thing. I mean, we've seen both teams, have to give up fourth downs real close to the goal line. So both teams just need to try to trust their team and try to come out on top here. Like we said, possession is going to be a premium here in the second half. Points at a premium. Wouldn't be surprised to see a field goal kicker come back out. A lot to play for here again. Win and you're in, essentially, here for the playoffs between these two teams.
Well, you had some stats totaled up there from the first half we can share with our viewers.
Martin definitely leading the way for Scott, 12 carries to 53 yards. Quarterback Fry, 4 of 8 for 67 yards and a touchdown and 2 interceptions, one of those coming at the very, very end of there at the first half. Winfield being paced by Tate with 10 carries for 33 yards. And Brown completed only 5 of his 12 passes for 66 yards, a touchdown, and an interception so far in this one.
Before we kick things off here in the second half, we'll do a quick check of that Polka Herbert Hoover game being played at West Virginia State this evening on their new turf field that they got a couple of weeks ago. The latest score update I have from that is Herbert Hoover 21, Polka nothing in the third quarter. So we'll keep an eye on that one as this game continues. As the kickoff goes back down to the 10, Bryson Boggs finally fields the kick, but that was a live ball down the field. The Generals didn't seem like they were in any hurry to try to scoop it up. There is a flag down at the 10, and that's in the area of what possibly will be a hold. That'd be half the distance to the goal, too, now, back down at the 10.
Yeah, it's almost like they were treating it like it was a punt. The rules are very different on whether it's a punt or a kickoff on whether you touch the ball. So, and they're getting backed up again, blocking the back on that one. So, once again, we have a team starting their drive from the shadow of the road end zone here down here in Madison. So, a situation where both these teams have experienced, but they still haven't been able to turn many points out of it.
1st and 10 from the 4. They spot that inside the 5-yard line. Handoff goes up the middle. Tate. So that was a direct snap, to him. Tate gains a couple yards up to the 8. Give him 4. Bring up 2nd and 6. And now that Herbert Hoover Polka game has moved into the fourth quarter. Still 21-0 Herbert Hoover. Snap comes to Tate on the direct snaps. Tate had a nice hole, gets up across the 15-yard line as he gets the first down and some extra yardage afterward. Excellent run there by Bryson Tate, senior tailback. First and 10 from the General 17. Brown and Tate in the backfield. Direct snap to Tate. Tate misses the initial contact, and then he'll get dropped to the ground by Isaiah Brown, the middle linebacker. Number 68 there making the stop. After a short gain there by Tate. 1,000-yard rusher on the season coming into tonight in just 8 games. Had 2 200-plus yard rushing games on the season. He takes a direct snap again here, works through the traffic, breaks out of a couple tackles, still on his feet, and he's brought down near the 20. First down run there for Tate. Up to near the 30. Give him the 29. No, they're going to give him the 30 there. Yeah, excuse me. Nice first down run from Tate. Generals have scored 10 unanswered since the final minute of that first half. Opening possession of the second half here, not quite 2 minutes into it. Direct snap to Tate. Tate goes up the gut, and Tate dropped across the 30-yard line as he'll be wrapped up by Christian Cooper and Isaiah Brown.
58 yards now for Tate on 15 58 yards on 15 carries, and really been effective here in this first drive of the first or second half.
Tate now over 1,100 yards rushing on the season. He lines up in the backfield again next to Brown. Direct snap comes to Tate. Tate quickly met by that Skyhawk defense. A trio of Skyhawks get their hat on him and bring him down.
As effective as that has been, surely by now Scott's realized what they're doing on this drive, so it might be time to change up the offensive play calling here.
3rd down and 6 to go. Ball at the 34-yard line. Brown calling out the play to his teammates there along the line of scrimmage. And the Generals moved before that snap came.
It looked like Tate actually was the one who may have moved just a little bit early back there, where they have both backs acting like they're going to get the snap there.
False start on Winfield. Back him up now. Should be 3rd and 11. Excuse me, that was 3rd and 12 from where they mark it. Yeah, it wasn't quite up to the 34-yard line. So back at the 28-yard line after the false start. 3rd and 12 upcoming. In opening possession of this second half. Now over 3 minutes in. Direct snap goes to Tate. He'll pitch it to Carter Perry, and Perry gets across the 30, up across the 35. He is forced out of bounds, though, yards shy of the first down to gain.
If it wasn't for the penalty yards, that would have been a first down, but great effort by Perry there to try to find the edge. Just couldn't quite get those last couple yards.
They'll spot it at the 37, so 4th and 3 on the way for Winfield. Perry goes back to await the snap for the punt attempt. 3 seconds on the play clock. 2-1. Finally comes back to Perry. He sends a nice kick away. Brenniger catches it at the 29. Brenniger going to try to bounce it out wide to the far side of the field, and he's forced out of bounds finally by Gavin Sutphin. Or excuse me, that was actually Jackson Cunningham that forced him out of bounds as he gets up across to the 44-yard line. 15-yard return there. He ran about 25, though, to get 15.
Well, it was a good job of stringing him along because, as we've said several times, Rediger, a really good return man there. For Scott, does a good job of setting his team up with great field position. Still, even on what wasn't necessarily a great return, 15 yards, that's no chump change. Setting his team up great position here to try to take the lead here at home.
1st and 10 for Scott from their 44-yard line. A nice run by Cooper Martin. Martin off the right side, cuts it back in. He's got the first down and then some deep into Winfield territory. Inside the 40, just shy of the 35 on 1st and 10, but he's a little slow trying to get up now. Going to try and stretch it out as he took it from the 44 all the way down to the 36-yard line. 20 yards on that run. My math is right, I think. Yep.
That's what I came to as well.
Yep, so Martin gets up off the turf now after stretching it out a little bit and after sitting in the locker room for a little while, and then for about 3.5 minutes of that this third quarter, a little understandable why he might be a little tight coming off of that big, powerful run he had there.
Yeah, it's good to see him be able to trot over there. Hopefully he gets that worked out and be back out with his teammates as soon as possible for him.
1st and 10 upcoming for the Skyhawks from the general 36-yard line. Adam Rogers, Will Vance, and our Media Center crew, happy to have you with us this evening for an important matchup for both of these teams. Tied for 15th in Class AA. Essentially win and you're in. Handoff goes to Stone up the middle. Stone across the 35, down near the 30 Should be about a 5-yard run there for the fullback Stone. Yeah, give him 5 there. Under 8 to go here in this third quarter. Just the first possession of the second half for Scott. After the Skyhawks struggled to close out the first half, gave up 10 points in the final minute to the Generals to trail going into the locker rooms. That's where our score still stands at 10-7. Fry in the shotgun, takes the snap, handoff goes up the middle to Stone again. Stone with a nice run off the right side. He's got the first down and then some before he's forced out of bounds. A nice run there by Stone, but unfortunately we have a flag down the field about 10 yards away from where he was forced out of bounds. And it's a block in the back on the Scott offense. And it happens so far away from the play that kills the first down gain for the Skyhawks.
Yeah, sometimes it'd be hard for those players down the field to really tell what their players do to try to get in the good position to make those blocks. But you've got to be careful once you get down there. And now it's backing them up out of now. They would have been in the red zone, now pushed back to about 30.
Well, it's still second down for the for the Skyhawks rather. 2nd and 5 still because it was added on after the gain. Handoff goes to Cooper Martin, who checks back in now. Martin with a first down run as he gets forced out of bounds around the 20. So Martin, after that 20-yard run a couple of plays ago, had to come out after looked like his hamstrings tightened up a little bit. Got those stretched out, and he has a nice run there.
Yeah, we talked about Tate's 100-yard games for Winfield. Martin getting pretty close there, 82 yards now on 14 carries.
14-yard run. Yeah, 14-yard run there. Martin takes the handoff, breaks out of one tackle, can't get out of the second, and he's tripped up around the 15-yard line. Give him the 16. 6-yard run will bring up 2nd and 4. Skyhawks moving the football with efficiency on this drive now. Started at their own 44.
Well, Adam, both offenses have struggled once they start getting closer to the end zone, so let's see if they're able to finish this drive and take the lead.
Snap comes back to Fry in the shotgun, handoff to Stone, and Stone is quickly bottled up. Logan Howell helping make the stop there for the Generals defense. And he's going to lose a yard back to the 18-yard line.
Stone's really been an effective second ball carrier for Scott tonight so far. 6 carries for 34 yards. So that last run not necessarily indicative of the impact he's had.
Fry play action fake under some heavy pressure and almost throws an interception. Stepping into that pass attempt there was Jace Miller, and he can't haul it in. That incompletion brings up 4th down now for the Skyhawks, and the question is what do you do here if you're Scott?
I think you have to go for it. I mean, as we said many times, points at a premium. We've already lost nearly 2/3, well, about halfway through, of the third quarter here. Got to go for it here with an offense that really has been doing well today. Martin, of course, leading Canada to try to get them that yardage.
Handoff goes to Martin. Martin breaks out of one tackle, breaks out of another, but he is stopped shy well of the first down to gain. A turnover on downs for the Skyhawks on their opening possession of the second half. And that's not a good sign there, as you see on your screen, as Cooper Martin starts to limp his way over toward the near sideline. He's going to stop, though, in the middle of the field and try to walk this off. 5:47 to go here in this third quarter. Generals back out on the field the offense. A snap comes to Brown, a toss underneath to Perry. Perry with some space has a nice run as he gets up near the 30-yard line. First down run for Carter Perry. Senior. It's up to the 30-yard line. Nice gain there on 1st and 10.
14 yards there. Good way to start this drive for the Generals, who, the way things are going with a touchdown, could really have a comfortable position going into the 4th if they're able to score on this drive.
Fake the handoff, and it'll be Brown keeping it himself on a triple option. Brown will pick up 2 yards up to the 32-yard line.
A slick-looking play, but didn't fool enough of the Scott defense to make too much damage.
Just over 5 minutes to go, now under 5 here in this 3rd quarter. Snap goes to Tate on the direct snap, and Tate will get up to, we'll wait to see where they spot it. It's at least 2 yards on that run. We'll give him 3 up to the 35-yard line.
62 yards now on the night on 17 carries for Tate.
Man in motion is Perry out. Snap comes to Tate as the Wildcat. Tate with a nice run up near the 40-yard line. Should have enough for the first down. Give him 6 yards on that run up to the 41. Chains will reset over on that far side of the field. Generals, second time with the football here in the second half. Tate takes a direct snap again, and Tate quickly met as he cuts into the hole. I believe tripping him up was Christian Cooper, who we see getting up off the pile there.
And as we said several times throughout the game, when the Generals in no real hurry to get plays in, no problem letting that clock run throughout the game, and certainly no difference on this drive.
Tate takes a direct snap again, cuts back to the left, breaks out of an arm tackle, has the first down and then some, breaks out of another tackle for a moment, but holding on for dear life there was Finnessy. Not before Tate has a nice run into Scott territory inside the 40-yard line, down to the 36. And now, player down for the Skyhawks. That's Brenniger down. He just dropped. As he's now able to get onto his knees. Training staff will see to him over there in the middle of the field after a nice gain there on that run by Tate of 20 yards. Sets up Winfield 1st and 10 from the Scott 36-yard line. While the training staff sees to Brenniger, we'll mention our sponsors again, our great sponsors all season long: Dutch Miller Auto, Thomas Health System, HD Media, Ben Salengo Law, Parmar Stores, Frontier Communications, Poca Valley Bank, Army Recruiting of West Virginia, Adelphia Sports Bar and Grill, Tays Physical Therapy, and the Webb Law Center. Webb Law Center is our play of the game sponsor. We had our guest with us, Rusty Webb, joining us in the first half and at halftime. Also, forgot to mention our player of the game sponsor, Chick-fil-A Southridge. We'll have that for you at the conclusion of today's ball game as Brenniger is able to get up off the turf, made his way over to the near side sideline, and is going to continue to be checked out by the training staff over here. But action back on the field, ready to resume. Tate in that Wildcat takes the snap, and he is smothered immediately Oh, my goodness. Getting back there in a hurry is Gavin Sutphin.
You know, on that play, Tate usually does a good job of finding that hole quick and trying to make something of it. That time, he dropped back and took a second to look and didn't see anything other than black and gold jerseys coming at him.
Loss of 3, bring up 2nd and 13 for the Generals offense. Pistol look now for Winfield, play action, and it's actually going to be a quarterback run. Brown keeps it himself, gets inside the 40, and he's still short of the original line of scrimmage. He'll get down to the 37. Check that. A little spotted about halfway between the 38 and 37, so we'll call it the 38. Bring up 3rd and long now for Winfield. Trips out to the far side of the formation. It's Lowry, Perry, and Boggs lined up in that trip set. Cottrell, the near side wide receiver. As Tate stands next to Brown in the shotgun. Brown takes a shotgun snap. Quick rush there by the Skyhawks, but Brown able to get past it. And he threw the pass beyond the line of scrimmage, I'm pretty sure. It looked like
beyond the line
Yeah,
of
it looked like he was 2 or 3 yards beyond it. There is a late flag that comes in.
Yeah, there's another one that just got thrown.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that'll be for a late hit out of bounds, but it should be for an illegal forward pass. He was well beyond the line of scrimmage there.
And it can be hard for a quarterback to tell where he is on the field sometimes when he's trying to escape pressure, but that seemed clearly beyond the line of scrimmage. So much so that it seemed like the Skyhawks were starting to converge because they thought there was no way he was going to pass it anymore.
So a lengthy discussion by the officials here on the near side. Want to make certain they get this one exactly right, but it looked like he let go of that football across the 30-yard line. The line of scrimmage, or excuse me, the 35-yard line, the line of scrimmage was the 38. So,
yeah, well, let's see. Illegal forward
yep,
pass.
There's the illegal forward pass. An intentional grounding.
Declined. Personal foul.
So 2 personal fouls on Scott. Those probably for those late hits out of bounds, be my guess. And Scott got bit by the penalty bug last week against the Polka Dots.
So are these, wait to see what they do with the ball here. I don't think these offset. That's kind of what they're, well, no, looks like they're supposed to move them here. So they're measuring it from the
line of scrimmage. Yeah, they're marching this off against Scott.
Well, all right, first down for Winfield, I guess.
Yeah, 1st and 10 for Winfield from inside the 28-yard line. So, I still am perplexed. Had an illegal forward pass and an intentional grounding that were declined. I don't know why you would decline those, though. With the personal foul being against you, I'm not sure.
Anyway, here we go.
Yeah, 1st and 10 carry for Tate. Tate inside the 20 now, down to the 17.
Carrying the ball, Tate.
Now Tate's starting to flirt with a 100-yard night again. 93 yards now on 22 carries. Really shouldering the load for Winfield, especially on this drive that seems like it may result in points. But like we said, there have been many drives that have bogged down tonight for both teams once they've gotten close to points.
Well, we talk about how primary of a ball carrier Cooper Martin is for Scott. Well, the primary ball carrier for the Generals is Bryson Tate. Coming into tonight had 70 more carries than the next guy. And Tate gets the carry there, and he'll lose a yard back to the 18. Bring up 3rd down now for the Generals offense. Under 30 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. And I think they're going to let this game clock run out. There's about a 3-second difference, so content to just let that clock run out now, yeah. So they will get ready to flip ends of the field, and we head to the fourth. Winfield 10, Scott 7. After 3 quarters of play here in Madison, we head to the fourth and definitive quarter. The 3-point ball game. We'll step aside for a break and then be back with more high school game day action here on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media.
What started as the Parmar Oil Company in 1967 has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Parmar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Parmar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Parmar store near you now, you will soon. Parmar Convenience Stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
Back here in Madison, Boone County, West Virginia. Adam Rogers, Will Vance, and our Media Center crew. Happy to have you with us. Thanks for joining us for a playoff-style matchup. It's 2 teams fighting for their playoff lives tonight. With 1 more week of the regular season left to go, these 2 teams tied for 15th in the Class AA rankings. And it's essentially win and you're in. Lose, and you could be looking on the outside in come November 12th or 13th. Next up for the Generals, a tough matchup with Point Pleasant next week. Up next for Scott, an easier test against the Nitro Wildcats. Point Pleasant, a top 5 team.
Whoever does not win tonight still has an opportunity to earn their way into the playoffs, but it will not be easy.
Yeah, it's going to be that much harder.
Whether it be how good Point Pleasant is or how you won't get much for topping Nitro.
Handoff goes back to Carter Perry, and Perry is cut down for a loss of 2 back to the 20-yard line on the opening play of the 4th quarter. 4th and long on the way for the Generals, and out will come the field goal team. 0 for 2 in the first half was Moore Ilderton. We'll see if he can hit it.
That second one was from pretty good range.
47 yards away.
And he looked like if it was about 35, it would have hit. So I'm curious to see what will happen here. Obviously, his coaching staff has faith in this young man, and we'll see.
Well, this will be from 37 yards away, and if it was from this distance in the first half, it probably would have gone in. He was about 7 or 8 yards short. A good kick is up.
Ooh,
does it
good.
bend in?
No.
Just wide right. Oh, my goodness. He had the distance, had the height he needed, and just pushed it wide right. What a break for the Skyhawk defense.
I kind of wanted for that kid after that first half, but he showed he has a leg and he has some talent out there. He's got to be able to put it through the goalposts and being a little hard on himself there on the sideline, but keep it chin up, kid. You'll get another chance, hopefully.
Well, that's one thing that head coach Craig Snyder said with him is that he's just got to have the confidence that he can make those kicks, and we've seen him come relatively close twice. Had the really bad one on the first one because he miskicked it, but 2 pretty decent attempts just come up short on both of them. Handoff goes on 1st and 10 to Cooper Martin. Martin will get up to the 25-yard line. 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 on the way for the Skyhawks.
And by my count, that gives Martin 101 yards on the night on 17 carries so far.
Skyhawks trail by 3 on their senior night. Fry takes a shotgun snap, hands off to Martin. Martin hands off to Stone on a reverse, and he is quickly met by that Generals defense.
Yeah, that play just took too long to develop against a talented front for the Generals, so nothing going there.
3-yard loss, bring up 3rd and 7. 3rd and 8, excuse me. Less than 10 minutes to go in the ball game. Field goal difference in the score so far. Play action fake, throw over the top to Stone, and Stone off for the races. Inside the 30, to the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown, Skyhawks. From 78 yards, Stone races into the end zone on a perfectly thrown pass from Matt Fry. Skyhawks take the 13-10 lead, extra point on the way.
Adam, for as much as we've seen in this game, as much great defense, solid running, we have not really seen the truly explosive plays. And Stone went out there and decided to end all that. It looks like he's in a little bit of pain out there. Looks like his hand may have gotten caught somewhere during when they're taking him down. But boy, what an impressive play out there by Stone, putting his team ahead, possibly by 4 here after this extra point attempt.
Out to try the extra point is is Kevin Neal. And flag comes out. Generals, I believe, jump across and offside.
Oh, now Winfield or Scott says, well, why not? Probably going to go for 2 here. Not much of a difference between a 4-point lead and a 5-point lead, so might as well.
Yeah, offensive unit comes onto the field now. Extra point try on the way from the 1.5. Rather, 2-point try, I should say, from the 1.5. Fry, the quarterback, lines up under center. Turns, hands off to Stone, the fullback. Stone powers his way into the end zone. 2-point conversion try is good for the Skyhawks. Stone takes it 78 yards for the score, then punches it in from 1.5 out for the 2-point conversion try. And it's a 15-10 lead now for Scott with 9:44 to go in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside for a quick break and then be back with more fourth quarter action here on High School Game Day on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media.
We know who we are, where we've been, where we're going. Like hospitals all over America, we are changing, redefining, restructuring ourselves to be the best community health system in the region we serve. We are 2 hospitals with more than 30 locations, 450 providers, and 1 mission: to heal. As one, we are Thomas Health, caring for our communities today and tomorrow.
Back here for the fourth quarter, Adam Rogers, Will Vance, and our Media Center crew, happy to have you along with us here on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media, for another High School Game Day Game of the Week. We've got ourselves a heck of a ball game here tonight in Madison, folks, in Boone County. Tied for 15th in the Class AA standings, these 2 Cardinal Conference teams fighting for their playoff lives in the 10th week of the regular season, second to last week of regular season football to go in West Virginia before the playoffs on November 12th or 13th, depending on what the visiting team decides to play on. The Skyhawks have taken the lead back after a 78-yard catch from Landon Stone and then a 2-point conversion run by him as well to make it a 5-point lead. Kick on the ground, scooped up by Boggs. Boggs with a nice return back up across the 35-yard line. Sets the Generals up with pretty good field position to start this next drive with 9:39 to go here in this fourth quarter.
And we said it time and time again, but both these teams take their time. Possession of the ball is at a premium in this game. So a lot on the line for the Generals in this drive, who really looked in control a lot of this game. So they look up and they're down by 5. So I expect a whole lot of Tate and Brown running the ball, trying to get this thing down. Plenty of time here for them to drive down, playing their style of offense.
Brown throws one out to the far side, caught by Lowry just across the 40. He'll fight to keep that extra yardage as he'll be brought down at the 41-yard line. Bring up second down. Got a quick score update from that Martinsburg Spring Valley game being played at Spring Valley. Timberwolves have scored 21 unanswered points, lead 35-28 with 5 minutes to go in that ball game. And this pass is intercepted. Brown missed his man entirely. Cottrell slipped, and coming up with the pick is Kevin Neal. Neal celebrating on the near sideline emphatically, and the Skyhawks are going to come back out with the offensive unit.
You know, now the pressure's really on this Winfield defense to create a stop quickly. To get this ball back for the Generals. Great play there. Able to get the ball back for Scott, who now really has no rush at all to get this ball down there. Just try to keep those first downs coming. Potentially go down there and add to this lead.
Skyhawks back on the field on offense after the interception by Neal. Snap pulled down by Fry. Handoff goes to Cooper Martin. Martin drops his shoulder, breaks out of a couple tackles, and he's up near midfield. Excellent run there by the junior tailback, Cooper Martin. He'll be brought down at the 49-yard line. Give him 5 yards on that first down run. Again, I expect the Skyhawks to be taking their time, allowing that clock to work down. Offensive line now getting set with 10 seconds on that play clock. Fry in the shotgun. Takes a snap, pulls the snap down, hands it off to Martin again. Martin will get up to midfield, and he'll get no further. 1 yard run there, bring up 3rd and 4 for the Skyhawks. They'll take the snap with under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Be closer to 7.5 minutes by the time they take the snap. Finally break the huddle now with 15 on the play clock. Two receivers split out to the wide side. One wing on the near side. Fry pulls the high snap down, hands it into the belly of Martin. Martin fighting his way forward, and he'll be brought down near the first down marker. Should be enough for that first down. They're going to stop the clock to bring the chains over from that far sideline. So they're going to check for the first down here. 7:24 to go in this fourth quarter. Adam Rogers, Will Vance, happy to have you along with us this evening. I want to thank our sponsors for our broadcast tonight: Dutch Miller Auto, Thomas Health System, HD Media, Ben Salengo Law, Parmar Stores, Frontier Communications, Poca Valley Bank, Army Recruiting of West Virginia, Adelphia Sports, Taze Physical Therapy, the Webb Law Center, and Chick-fil-A Southridge. They're stretching the chains out now, and it'll be inches short. 4th and inches upcoming for the Skyhawks.
So much closer than the first time they broke the chains out this evening. But tough call. I mean, it's close. You have a reliable running game that can probably pick that up. But if you don't get it, you're giving Winfield plenty of time and field position to go down, potentially retake the lead for themselves. So tough decision here, but at the same time, really not that tough as it looks like. Yep, look going for it.
Of course. 4th and a couple of chain links away from picking up the first down. Going to try to milk some more of that clock. Now remember, the Generals defense did get a stop in the first quarter on a 4th and goal situation from the 1. So we'll see if the Generals can come up with another big stop here.
This might be a case where they try to draw the Generals off as they did in the first quarter as well on one of these situations.
Fry under center. And before the snap gets off, a timeout taken by Scott. We'll step aside for a quick break with the break in the action. 7:17 to go. 5-point lead for the Skyhawks on their senior night. We'll see if the Generals can play spoiler when we come back after this here on High School Game Day on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media.
Looking for a friendly bank that you can turn to in your community? Bank where the decisions on your needs are made locally. With online banking and 7 locations. Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter.
Back here in Madison, fourth quarter action here between Scott and Winfield. 15-10 your score. Skyhawks with the lead and the football. 4th and inches coming up, though, for Scott. just took a timeout as we see them breaking their huddle here on the near sideline, or getting ready to break their huddle, I should say, here on the near sideline. Find out what head coach Jeremy Dolan's drawn up here on 4th and inches.
Looks like they're still lining up to go for it. Now also Martin is their punter, so they could change into a punt formation if they wanted to.
Yeah, they've got Fry out there and Stone the fullback. Single wing, H-back set type. Fry takes a snap, and he's going to try to get it on the quarterback sneak. With the extra effort, Fry still on his feet, has the first down and then some. What an effort by Matt Fry, the sophomore. Drops his shoulder and keeps the legs churning for the first down. Needed inches, picked up 2 full yards there when he needed just inches.
A great effort there by him and his teammates who got right behind him, trying to will him forward as well, able to move over to that left side and find that yardage. So very pivotal play down here, down the stretch, as Scott tries to hold on to this lead here on senior night.
Keeps the Skyhawks offense on the field, and more importantly, gets that clock moving again. Fry takes a snap, hands it quickly off to Stone. Stone drops a shoulder on one defender, keeps his legs moving, and he's close to another Skyhawk first down. Picks up 9 down to the 35-yard line.
Stone with 40 carries, or 40 yards now on 8 carries. Great complimentary back to Martin, who has 20 carries so far.
You just saw him on your screen there, too. Look over to the sideline and do the hands over top of each other. His coach is telling him to protect that football. Snap will come probably just under 6 minutes left to go here in this fourth quarter. Now 10 seconds on that play clock. Skyhawks just waiting for the right moment to take the snap. Comes back to Fry with 3 seconds. Hands it off to Stone again. Stone spins off of a defender. Still fighting forward down to the 30. He's got another first down for the Skyhawks.
They had a little better grip on that ball that time.
Nice power run there by Landon Stone, who has the touchdown and 2-point conversion in this game that gave the Skyhawks back the lead. They took a 7-0 lead with 8 minutes and change to go in the second quarter. Then in the final minute gave up that lead and allowed the Generals to score a safety, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion to take a 10-7 lead into the locker room. Then the fourth quarter, Stone got that touchdown pass with 9:44 to go. So 4:20 and change now away from that score. Handoff goes to Martin on first down. Martin inside near the 25-yard line rather, and helmet got spun around on him a little bit there. But it didn't pop off, so he doesn't have to come off the field. He's just going to tighten the straps up a little bit and get ready for this second down play for the Skyhawks. Now under 5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. This has been the battle we expected all along coming into tonight's game. Again, these two teams fighting for their playoff lives. Win and you're in, essentially. Lose and you could be on the outside looking in come November 12th. Still a week left in the regular season, but you definitely want to get the wins while you can. Handoff goes to Martin. Martin bounces it all the way outside to the sideline off the right side, and he's forced out of bounds by Jace Miller. Martin will gain 2 yards down to the 25-yard line. It'll bring up third down and a short 5 to go.
22 carries for 117 yards so far tonight for Martin. So really shouldering the load here for Scott as they try to push for that senior night win.
Martin closing in on 1,000 yards rushing now with his performance so far tonight for the season. Came in with 857 on the year. Snap comes back to Fry. Handoff to Stone. Stone plunges his way forward. Gets maybe 2 yards. And that'll bring up fourth down for the Skyhawks as Winfield takes a timeout with 4:23 to go here in the fourth quarter. 15-10. We'll step aside for another quick break and we'll be back with more fourth quarter action here from Madison right after this on the RSN Sports Network powered by HD Media.
In the history of Dutch Miller Ram, there has never been a better time to trade in your car. Because of major supply chain disruptions, your vehicle is worth more than it ever has been. Even if you're not looking to trade in your car, we're interested in buying your vehicle at up to 30% above fair market value. We have customers trading in their vehicles that are getting more now than they paid for it. Learn more and text or chat now at DutchMillerRam.com.
Come in today for the Make This the Summer event and get friends and family pricing for everyone.
Back here in Madison, 4:23 to go on the game clock in this fourth quarter. Adam Rogers, Will Vance, happy to have you along with us tonight for this Cardinal Conference matchup between two teams fighting to stay in the playoff hunt. Tied for 15th are Scott and Winfield. Generals trail on the road here, 15-10. Scott trying to honor their seniors and send them off with a win here in their final home game.
Big fourth down here for Scott.
Fake the handoff to Martin, pass over the top, and it's caught! Preston Cooper hauls it down and gets into the end zone. On fourth down, the Skyhawks score. Preston Cooper, with just his 7th catch of the season, gets his 2nd touchdown of the year in as many weeks. And he is fired up big time on the near sideline.
Well, Mr. Touchdown, they really need it. Just great job there of slipping through the linebacking core, getting himself open and making it to the end zone. Great job there to put his team up comfortably now with just 4 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. Up 11, possibly 12 after this kick. And that might be the nail in the coffin for the Generals.
A 23-yard catch by Preston Cooper puts Scott on top, 21-10. Extra point on the way. Snap pulled down, kick is up, and it's blocked.
Kick is blocked. With 4 minutes left in the game.
Coming in to block that kick, I believe, was Alex Nelson. So that'll hold the score pat, 21-10 with 4:15 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside for another quick break and then be back with more right after this here on High School Game Day on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media.
Joan, your internet service is horribly slow and terribly unreliable.
Yes, Joan. It's time to make a change.
But don't worry, there's Frontier fiber optic internet. It has 25 times faster upload speeds than cable.
Woo! And you can use all your devices at the same time.
And look at weird stuff like me all night long.
Wow, that is really weird.
All night long.
That's right, Joan.
We all agreed.
See the light. Switch to fiber. Frontier Fiber Optic Internet.
Back here in Madison, fourth quarter, 4:15 to go. Skyhawks extend the lead out now to 11, 21-10 after Preston Cooper hauls in a 23-yard touchdown pass from Matt Fry to put the Skyhawks up on top by 11 after the extra point was blocked. Preston Cooper with 2 catches for 25 yards last week and a touchdown in that tight loss to the Polka Dots. Gets his first catch of the night tonight and helps put the Skyhawks comfortably ahead now with 4:15 to go. Nice kick by Neal. Perry will field it inside the 10, bring it up from the 8. And Perry tripped up quickly. Excellent open field tackle by Caden Sutphin. The freshman, comes in to make the ankle stop. Now, Generals got some work to do.
And Adam, of course, as we talked about the pacing of this Generals team throughout the game, obviously every team's capable of turning it up when they need to. But with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left, you need 2 scores. You could get away with a field goal and a touchdown 2-point conversion, but obviously you're looking for the 2 touchdowns here, if at all possible.
That interception on the previous possession by the Generals is really debilitating now at this point because it helped give Scott that possession and then go down to score to make it an 11-point lead. As throw out to Carter Perry. Perry makes the grab and turns upfield. Picks up a couple before he's forced out of bounds after the catch. And he'll be shy of the 30-yard line. Bring up second down and 4 to go for a 6-yard gain. trips come to the near side. Lone receiver up top. Snap comes back to Brown under some heavy pressure, able to roll out and escape it. Throw to the far side of the field, and that one's short, intended for Tanner Lowry. With Carson Brenniger in on the coverage there, and he comes up a little slow, grabbing at his hand. He's really visibly a little shaken with that hand, but he's going to stay out there. Try and make another play for this Scott defense. Under 4 minutes to go now here in this fourth quarter. Clock stopped after the incompletion. 4 receivers to the near side. Brown drops back to pass, slings it over the middle. That pass is tipped and broken up. 2 defenders in the area, and Brenniger is the man there to knock that pass away, ultimately, from the Generals.
I think there are actually 2 Skyhawks able to get their hands on that one before it had any chance to get to the Generals receiver. So good job there by the secondary. As Brenniger looks like, well, first was his hand, now it looks like it might be one of his legs.
Yeah,
a little problem.
Got rolled up a little bit there and was going to try to stay out there, but now made his way off the field. So 4th down on the way for the Generals. Clock stopped at 3:54. Brown drops back to pass. Man comes free, but he throws. Oh, he almost had his man, Carter Perry, but the pass is incomplete. That's a turnover on downs, and the Skyhawks get the football back. What a defensive stand there for Scott. Now a chance to put this one to bed with 3:50 to go here in this fourth quarter.
Adam, since the end of the second half when Brown threw that touchdown, he's had 2 interceptions, 2 completions, and 5 incompletions. So very the offensive passing game has really collapsed here for the Generals in the second half.
So 2 for 9 here in the second half with 2 picks.
Yep, 2 for 9, 2 picks. Overall, only 76 yards in the game.
1st and 10 for the Skyhawks from the 29 of Winfield. A high snap pulled down, though, put into the belly of Cooper Martin. Martin trying to dance his way around, finding some space, and that patience pays off because he'll pick up 3 yards. 2 yards down to the 27. Could have been bottled up there for a loss.
119 yards now for Martin, getting close to that 1,000. 137 is what he needs, if I remember correctly from the number you said earlier.
Yeah, again, came into the game with 857 rushing yards on the season.
So 147 yards is what he needs. So might not get there in this one just based on the field position and time left, but seems like he's pretty certain to get at least a couple of yards in their season finale, hopefully push him over 1,000. Certainly, 1,000 yards at any level of football. If a running back gets 1,000 yards, that means they had a good season. That means that they were a guy their team could rely on, week in and week out, and that's certainly what we've seen of Martin in the games we've watched, Adam, and all season long, and the stats certainly speak to that as well.
Timeout there taken on the field. Teams breaking the huddles now to come back out. Quickly, we'll mention some of our sponsors again. Dutch Miller Auto, Thomas Health System, HD Media, Ben Salango Law, Parmar Stores, Frontier Communications, Poca Valley Bank, Army Recruiting of West Virginia, Adelphia Sports, Taste Physical Therapy, Webb Law Center, and Chick-fil-A Southridge. We'll have our Chick-fil-A Southridge player of the game coming up here in just a minute. Handoff goes to Cooper Martin. Martin breaks through the line, and he's going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Skyhawks! 3:32 to go, and that one should do it here in Madison. Make it 27-10. Extra point on the way for Scott.
And what was that number I said, 147 to make 1,000? I believe, let me double check, but that may have put him at 147, may have made 1,000 yards on the season for Martin.
Skyhawks gonna keep the offense out there and go for 2 here. Excuse me, no, they're actually breaking the huddle to kick. I thought they were going to go for 2. I saw Sharp's running on late, but Neal is out there with the kicking block, so they are going to try and put this one through the uprights.
And there's a flag out from that judge. I don't know what that was about. Must have been a delay of game or something going on because they're backing them up for that attempt. And so here we go, getting ready for that extra point attempt here. Backed up a few yards. Looking to make it a 28-10 game here in the final quarter. And another flag out as it looks like, maybe it's an illegal formation or something on this one.
That's going to be offside on the defense. So
back to the original spot.
Yeah. So back to the normal try for the extra point from the 10. Snap is back, kick is up, and it's good. 28-10, Skyhawks with the lead and potentially put this one to bed. 3:32 to go here in the fourth quarter. We'll step aside for a break and then be back with more high school game day action after this on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media.
What started as the Parmar Oil Company in 1967 has grown into 116 convenience stores in 4 states. Parmar convenience stores offer monthly product specials and grab-and-go items. Located just down the street from where you live, Parmar stores are all about being your above-par convenience store. If you don't have a Parmar store near you now, you will soon. Parmar Convenience Stores, neighbors serving your community and making life a little bit easier every day.
Get out of the
3:32 to go here in Madison. Skyhawks with the 18-point lead, 28-10. That final minute of the first half has really been all the Generals have been able to muster consecutively. Had a couple of good things go their way there in that final minute of the first half and just haven't been able to get it going here in half number 2.
Yeah, I mean, that was as much just Scott's mistakes as it was Winfield's ability to capitalize on them as they at least get a good field position here for this next drive as they fall on it there at the, 35 it looks like.
Yeah, the 35. Got lucky, though, to jump on top of it. It was Nico Petrozelli who has an interception in this game for the Generals defense. That kick was a live ball once it passed midfield, and he was able to jump on top of it before the Skyhawks got down there in a hurry.
Now, I'm obviously at this point in the game, the body language from the Generals pretty dejected down there, but really it seemed like all game long they didn't really have the energy that we've seen from them, not only in previous weeks, but the type of energy it really takes for a game that, where he said, had major playoff implications.
Brown loses the football. Goes right into the bouncing, awaiting arms of Isaiah Brown. Brown still on his feet, finally slung down back around the original line of scrimmage. Wow, Bryson Brown had what looked like a nice run and should have gotten the first down. Football gets punched out from behind, and it goes into the awaiting arms of Isaiah Brown, the junior middle linebacker, who gives the football back to Scott, and that should just about do it now.
Yeah, and Bryson Brown, as he made his way over there towards the sideline, basically by himself. He got a lot of pats on the back and little taps from the guys on the Scott team. He's played his heart out in this one. They know it. Giving a little bit of love to a foe who just did not have the night they expected out there.
Just over 3 minutes to go. Skyhawk offense coming back out onto the field trying to run this one out. And, Will, I think it's safe to say we could probably get closer to our player of the game selection. A couple of guys to pick from on this Scott side of the game. We'll see, where you end up going with it here in a little bit. As Martin gets the carry. One of those candidates for player of the game. Doesn't have a touchdown on the night, but has been, does have the one touchdown on the night. But
the most recent touchdown.
Yeah, didn't finish writing that in.
He busts through that line for a 20-yard gain, which I believe put him at 1,000 yards. These stats are
1,100. Or no, that would be 1,000 for him. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so wait for the official stuff to come out. But by my running count, he is now at, well, actually with the last carry, he should be about 1,002 yards.
High snap pulled down. Handoff goes to Stone. Stone with a nice spin move. And we're going to have a couple of flags come in late. Stone also a candidate for player of the game. Had a 78-yard touchdown catch. Had the 2-point conversion try to put him up by 5. Played a really great game for Scott this evening. And that is going to go against the Skyhawks. And they'll march it off from the spot of the foul. 10 yards all the way back near midfield now. 49 for an illegal block in the back.
And Adam, it feels like the pace of this game has slowed down more since the teams aren't actively trying to roll the time off the clock. I mean, they're not actively trying to take time now. It seems like it's definitely slowed down, but works just fine for Scott as they savor this big win here on senior night, and a win that all but guarantees they will be in the Class AA playoffs.
And again, it's not over for the Generals for their playoff hopes as Fry pulls it down, hands it off to Martin. Martin cuts back inside, cuts up the middle, breaks through a couple of tackles, and he'll get all that yardage back and a couple extra yards after that penalty. Brought down inside the 35 at the 33. Because, again, as we mentioned, this is a Generals team that will take on a really tough contest next week against Point Pleasant.
So the bright spot there for the Generals is that if they are able to beat Point Pleasant, that'll be a fairly impressive win that
should be plenty of bonus
points. Enough to get them into that 16-team field. But beating the Black Knights, no easy task. So certainly would want to get that win here, but obviously just did not go the Generals' way tonight.
Snap comes back to Fry, handoff to Martin. He'll cut back inside. Martin keeping his legs moving, and he's finally brought down inside the 30. And we have a final from that Point Pleasant game tonight. They were taking on Ripley out of Class AAA. 51-0. Point Pleasant with the win in that contest. So
Point Pleasant was not too long ago that Point Pleasant was a AAA team, so a bit of an asterisk there when you see them whip up on somebody from a class above, but certainly a good program they've had there at Point Pleasant over the past decade or so.
And I got a final from Herbert Polka. Hoover, 28-0 shutout against the Dots. That game played at West Virginia State as we get a timeout with 18.1 seconds left to go in this ball game. Well, I think it's safe to say we can make our player of the game selection now.
It's Martin.
Yeah.
I mean, Martin went out there, had a hell of a game. Cooper Martin out there, well over 150 yards with those last couple carries he had here as they try to just put this thing on ice and run out the clock. By our count, over 1,000. Even with my bad math, I think with the runs he's had here in the past couple minutes, he's safely over that 1,000-yard mark, which is a major accomplishment, like I said, for a running back at any level, at any school. 1,000 yards means you've been a dependable part of your team's offense, and I think tonight was definitely good proof of that. And as far as play of the game, we got to go with his kind of, I wouldn't even call him a sidekick necessarily, but number 2, Landon Stone, who carried the ball 10 times, but the play of the game was the 78-yard touchdown that really broke this thing open for Scott. It was really a tight, competitive game until then, and then it just kind of snowballed into this 18-point difference we have now.
Handoff goes to Neal, and Neal is upended quickly. That's a turnover on downs. That was 4th down. We do have a flag, though, so maybe it's not a turnover on downs. We'll wait to see the ruling on the field on that.
Let's see who has the last crack at burning these 9.6 seconds.
Yeah, it's all just semantics at this point in time. And it is going to be against the Skyhawks, so it'll be a turnover on downs. And with 9.6 seconds left, though, again, it's all semantics. A heck of a game here tonight, though. I mean, really unfortunate second half for Winfield, but Scott came out of that locker room, as Ted Lasso would put it from the Apple TV Plus show, you got to think like a goldfish. Forget, goldfishes have 10-second memories. So think like a goldfish. Be a goldfish. And that seems like that's what Scott did after that final minute. they just erased that final minute from their mind, came out and put 21 points on the scoreboard in the second half.
Yeah, just absolutely great effort of reversing the script, relying on their offensive weapons in Stone and Martin and Fry there towards the end to really get them back in this game and come out the result that they needed to all but ensure their place in the AA playoffs here in a couple weeks.
Up next for Scott, they'll take on the Nitro Wildcats. Up next for the Generals, we mentioned, tough task next week against top 5 Point Pleasant. So Winfield will be literally fighting for their playoff lives next week, but a big win, if they could get it, could potentially put them back into the playoff picture, depending on what happens there in those final teams in the bottom of the top 16. So, wow. We've done 3 or 4 AA games this year, and this has been another heck of a game. We've seen really good contests in AA all year, and this definitely lived up to the hype of 2 teams tied for 15th in Class AA coming into this evening.
Yeah, saw a lot of effort, a lot of fight from both teams. Just as the game went on, one team was able to kind of break through and find some success there late. And, you know, Sky was able to send their seniors off with a impressive win here at home over a talented team.
So again, our Chick-fil-A Southridge player of the game is the junior tailback, Cooper Martin. Over 150 yards rushing on the night tonight, and the final touchdown of the game to put this one to bed for the Skyhawks as we see him going through the handshake line now out there at midfield. Our play of the game goes to his backfield teammate, Landon Stone, a 78-yard touchdown reception to get the scoring going in the second half. And then he also had the 2-point conversion run as well to make it a 5-point lead for Scott. So I want to thank all of you out there watching tonight. Big thanks for you tuning in to this exciting matchup here in this Cardinal Conference between Scott and Winfield. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Todd Judy Ford, Poca Valley Bank, Dutch Miller Auto, Thomas Health System, Ben Salango Law, Parmar Stores, Frontier Communications, Poca Valley Bank. Oh, excuse me, I mentioned Poca Valley Bank already. Army Recruiting of West Virginia, Adelphia Sports, Tays Physical Therapy, Webb Law Center, Chick-fil-A Southridge. Big thanks to all of our sponsors each and every week. I also want to thank Rusty Webb for joining us in the first half and at halftime. Always great chatting with him. And a huge shout out to our Media Center crew, as always, doing a fantastic job once again for us. And I'm pretty sure we'll be hanging out with them again next Friday night up on the hill, because that's where we'll be for George Washington and Capital. I know the Cougars are struggling this year with head coach Mark Mason in his first season, but throw out the records. That is a cross-city rivalry game. Those two teams always bring it, no matter what their records and what their teams look like. It's going to be a heck of a game up on the hill tomorrow, or next Friday night, so we hope that you join us then. So for the entire crew here in Madison, West Virginia, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your Friday night, and don't forget, we got college football in the Mountain State tomorrow. Marshall takes on FIU at 3:30 in Huntington. Mountaineers take on the 22nd ranked Iowa Cyclones in Morgantown at 2 o'clock. So a lot of football excitement to go on in West Virginia tomorrow, and we'll catch you next Friday night in Charleston up on the hill for GW Capital. That does it for us here on High School Game Day on the RSN Sports Network, powered by HD Media. Have a great rest of your Friday night and your weekend, folks.
The relationship between a lawyer and a client is based on trust. You have to make certain that the lawyer you hire has your best interests at heart. We typically meet our clients at the worst times of their lives, and it's our job to help them. Over the years, we've been entrusted with some of the biggest cases in West Virginia. That's because we have a track record of success and getting exceptional results. We built a reputation as one of the go-to law firms throughout the state of West Virginia.
Joining me, high-profile lawyer Ben Salango. Ben, it's a real honor to have you on.
In fact, many of our cases come from other lawyers. Lawyers who've worked with us, lawyers who've worked against us, and even those who've merely heard of our results. We're proud of the reputation we've earned in the community for providing exceptional, aggressive legal representation. When you hire my law firm, you don't get excuses, you get results.